Alrighty, radio check loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in and welcome along to the coverage here in Zandvoort. We are 45 minutes away from the start of the race. We'll have 72 laps of racing at the circuit. The drivers are about to make their way onto the circuit for the reconnaissance laps. The sun has been shining, track temperature up to 28 degrees Celsius, the hottest it has been all weekend long. The rain that we hoped would fall has avoided us once again. Yesterday we had huge thunderclouds approaching the circuit, and then shortly before they arrived they got diverted away to the northern islands of the Netherlands. So hopefully we get some rain a little bit later on, but as of right now it is looking a little bit unlikely, and that 25% chance that I've written up there on the screen is more been knocked down to a 10% chance. Yeah. Alright, hello, thanks everyone for tuning in. Radio check, hi, Paladin YT, Shivanash, OG Ninja, good to see that you are all here. I hate how YouTube jumped me with 2 ads. Unfortunately, yeah, that's just the way how things go with YouTube. I can block adverts when the live stream's going on, but unfortunately can't block them before they begin. Yeah. Alright, folks, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, really helps out the algorithm just to get the channel started. And yeah, here we go then. We are about to get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. We'll have Oscar Piastri starting from pole position, Lando Norris in second place, Verstappen in third, but nobody was really worried about those top three. Everyone had their eyes on Isaak Hadjar. What a lap he had yesterday in qualifying. Absolutely incredible from him, really. Just outright performance from that Racing Bull car and from Isaak Hadjar, and it's great to see him up there. You know, he has been standout of Rookie of the Season so far. I would definitely put him up there as Rookie of the Season because, well, you know, we've seen glimpses of good performances from Antonelli, glimpses of good performances from Bortoletto. Behrman also on occasion has been alright, but the thing is, nobody has stood out as much as Isaak Hadjar has, and nobody else has been as consistent as Isaak Hadjar. You know, apart from starting out the season on a bit of a downhill when he crashed before the race even begun in Australia. Apart from that, things have been on the up really for Isaak Hadjar, and his performances have been pretty solid. So yeah, we shall wait and see what he can do. Alright, we may have some drivers starting from the pit lane. Yeah, get Ollie Behrman in 20th position. Probably will want a different setup for the race, and yeah, we may see him starting from the pits. Alright. How many points will VCarb get this weekend? Well, you know, let's have a quick look at the constructors. This weekend might be pretty important for them. Currently, they've got 45 points, so they've got 8, and they're in 8th position. But, you know, an extra 5, an extra 6 points will push them up 2 full positions up towards where Aston Martin are. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Fernando Alonso starting in 10th position. You know, their pace looked really good, but I was a bit skeptical. Their engine modes were turned up just a little bit too much in practice, and that's why they were looking so good in practice. Quali rolled around, and their performance unfortunately evaporated into thin air. We have just hit 190k. That is incredible. There we go, 5k away from today's target. I think if we hit 195k today, then we'll hit 200k next weekend out in Monza. So really big thank you for everyone subscribing, and yeah, I say this every time we hit sort of some milestone, but it is genuinely incredible to think this number of people have subscribed and enjoy the coverage. So, well, thank you very much. Alright, we're getting a couple of yellow flags deployed on the circuit. The marshals just testing out the systems before the drivers will be let out onto the track. As you can see there, Isaak Hadjar at the top of the track map has just lined up at the end of the pit lane and is waiting for the green light so he can make his way out onto the circuit. Okay. How are you today? I'm doing pretty good, actually. I'm doing pretty good. Hope you all are doing well. We've got another driver here. Comes Kimi Antonelli lining up towards the end of the pit lane. And yeah, Liam Lawson makes his way out as well. Right. Yeah, so yeah, talking about the constructors, Williams, they're also in 9th position with Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon a little bit further down. So Williams not scoring many points, Aston Martin not scoring many points, neither are Sauber. So this is really good opportunity there for Isaak Hadjar to stay up in 4th, score a lot of points for the team, and get them closer to that 5th position in the constructors, which could really go out and help them. I think this also might be the first time in history where the Red Bull team and then the Red Bull sister team finish along. Well, if this happens, let's say a V carb, oh not V carb, well you could call them V carb or racing balls, whatever you want to call them. If they finish in fifth, I think that would be the first time in Red Bull's history where the two teams finish next to each other in the championship. I don't think that has happened before. We've got yet more drivers lining up at the end of the pit lane now. Verstappen and Norris make their way to the end of the pits as well. Everyone lining up now and making their way out onto the track very, very shortly once the yellow flag has been cleared up. All right. Why is Behrman last? I think he's starting from the pits. That's what it is. Yeah, Behrman will be starting from the pit lane, and that's why he's been demoted into last position. Let me just check. What was I going to check? Yeah, Behrman was initially in 19th, and Stroll was, of course, 20th because he crashed out, but Behrman has opted to start from the pit lane, and that's why he's starting right at the back of the pack. Yeah, there we go. Hadjar, Lawson, Antonelli make their way out onto the circuit, and yeah, the race will start in 40 minutes' time. They're currently out there doing their reconnaissance laps, getting some information on the circuit and stuff like that, and then they will line up on the grid very, very shortly. Looking on towards the Drivers' Championship, we have got Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen as our top three. That is in fact, they have lined up on the exact same order on the starting grid today from with Piastri up front, Norris in second and Verstappen in third. We'll see how it works out for them. Norris is running a pretty high downforce setup here, folks. If you looked at the top speeds at the end of qualifying, Norris had the highest downforce setup out of all of the front runners, and that means that he may be a bit of a sitting duck down the straight compared to Max Verstappen. He may have a bit of difficulty overtaking Oscar Piastri as well because he just doesn't have the top end speed to get past him. But, you know, in terms of tyre wear, there's a lot of things that can happen here in Zandvoort. So there are opportunities to do a one-stop, there are opportunities to do a two-stop, and there are also opportunities to do a three-stop. It would really depend on what sort of on what the tyre wear's like, especially when the track temperature is up so high. Well, it's not so high, it's high by Zandvoort standards. It's 29 degrees Celsius now on the track, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So we shall see, you know, who can deal with the tyre wear. The McLarens, of course, they're especially good on their tyres, and, you know, we'll see how they cope in these sort of conditions. But the quickest strategy, start the race on the medium tyres, go to around lap number 27, 28, then pit onto the hard tyres and go to the end of the race. Or the alternate strategy, start the race on the soft tyres, and then if you start the race on the softs, you basically confirm that you will be doing a two-stop. There's no way to pull off a one-stop if you start the race on the soft tyres. So you start the race on the softs, then you go onto the hard tyres, and then you go onto the mediums for your final stint. That is another option. Or you do medium, hard, and that is your second option. And then, of course, if there are safety cars and other things thrown into the mix, then that's when a three-stop becomes possible. So yeah, I guess we shall see what happens. We've got 2,500 people tuning into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage so far. And as you can see there, we've got the drivers driving around on the circuit. They're doing their reconnaissance laps, and they'll be driving through the pit lane a few more times just to get a feel for things, make sure all the sensors and everything on the car is working as expected, and then we'll have them making their way onto the starting grid. Okay. It is not the formation lap. The formation lap is still 35 minutes away. Why are they driving? Well, you know, the cars are stored in the garage overnight, and they have to make their way to the starting grid somehow. So you could either, you know, transport them, lift them to the end of the pit lane all the way to the starting grid, or you could get the drivers to drive around a little bit. They can drive around on an old set of Pirelli tyres and, you know, see what they feel like, see what the conditions are like for the day, and then they'll make their way towards the starting grid and park up where the engineers and the mechanics will be waiting for them. Okay. Lap record must be changed. Oh yeah, the lap record must be changed. In fact, I should probably just get rid of the lap record because it doesn't really matter now, and I'll just put up there that Behrman starts from the pits. EEA starts from pits. Alright, very nice. Here we go then. Love your commentary, F1 Gamer. Thank you very much, Lancelot. Yeah, hopefully Lance won't crash today. He had an incident in FP2, quite a big crash. The mechanics worked overnight. They broke the curfew. They worked overnight towards midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. to get the car fixed. Stroll drives it all right for FP3 and then goes and bins it in Q1 and qualifies in dead last. So, honestly, I was thinking about this, right? If you're a Formula One engineer and you're working for Lance Stroll, it's very, very important that on your CV or like when you're applying to different jobs, let's say you're moving from Aston Martin to like Mercedes or whatever, it's very important as a mechanic to say, oh yes, I was the mechanic for Lance Stroll's car, not Fernando Alonso's, because then it will show that you've got loads more experience than being Fernando Alonso's mechanics because, well, let's be honest, Alonso doesn't crash as much as Stroll does. So, yeah, it could be a benefit to be Latifi's mechanic because then on your CV you've got, oh, I'm a really good mechanic. I know how to repair stuff. So, yeah, in a way it could be a good thing, but all the late nights probably don't help. All right. What else have we got to talk about? Well, let's just have a look at how big some of these gaps are between teammates. So, of course, you've got the teams like Mercedes, like Ferrari and McLaren, where their teammates are right next to each other. You've got Piastri and Norris first and second place, Leclerc and Hamilton 6th and 7th position, and then you got Alpine as well. Gasly and Colapinto only split by 1 place. But then you look at Verstappen and Tsunoda split by 9 positions between them. Russell and Antonelli split by 6 positions between them, and you've got Fernando Alonso and Stroll split by 19 positions. Not the greatest look, really, for these drivers. Tsunoda is still getting to grips with the car. The thing is, the field is very, very tight here. He is only 4 tenths off Max Verstappen, which is something that we saw very similar to what Sergio Perez was doing, to be honest. Most of the time he would be half a second, 3 tenths, 4 tenths off the back of Max Verstappen. But in 2024, when Sergio Perez was a teammate with Max Verstappen, the car was so quick, it didn't really matter if he was 3 tenths. At most, there was going to be 1 car in between himself and Max. But now, that 4-tenth gap between Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda has been filled by 9 different cars in between them. So that just goes to show you how much tighter the field has become in the span of, 2 years, hasn't it? While they're on track, they're just making their way to the starting grid there. You can see Fernando Alonso's parked up at the starting grid in his 10th position slot, I think. So, yeah, all the other drivers will just be making their way over there as we get towards the start of this race. How's the weather? It is nice and sunny, folks. Unfortunately, I would love for some rain to happen, but I checked the forecast and it's not in our direction really. The forecast. So unfortunately, it looks like we are going to be having a dry race. I mean, I'll double check, but the weather radar didn't really show any sort of chance of rain. Yeah, I look at the forecast now. It says 10% chance of rain. So. Yeah, 10% chance, but with the clouds not really being present for rain, you sort of got these very light grey clouds, which aren't very reminiscent of what you sort of expect for heavy rain. So we'll see. The race start will definitely be on slicks, but if you do start the race on soft tyres, that is going to give you a very, very big advantage going into turn number 1. So we shall see what the drivers decide to do. Norris, if he starts the race on the softs, he could just get ahead of Piastri, confirm a 2-stop strategy, and try and win from there. If not. If this happens, then Piastri could try to do a 1-stop and try and beat him on the strategy front. We shall just wait and see. But here in Zandvoort, we have had the record number of overtakes in Formula One history: 186 overtakes in a single race, and I suspect we'll be having something very, very similar here today. Okay, VPN details, please. What you can do is, in fact, let me just update it. You can use a Swiss VPN server and you can use SRF, and that is the best way to watch Formula One. So I'll just pop that up on screen right now. There we go, and then I shall also take you through a lap of the circuit. So let me get rid of the Drivers' Championship and get rid of this, and here we go, onboard lap of the circuit. So, the main thing here really, so we'll sort of imagine what a race start will look like as the drivers head in towards turn number one. So of course this is the final part of the lap here, where you've got huge banking, your foot is flat to the floor and you're just trying to tuck into the slipstream of the driver in front of you. But as you head towards turn number one here, you have got so this is the start finish line, but the actual starting grid ends a little bit further up here. So yeah, the driver on pole position is on the left hand side of the grid, so they are on the cleaner side of the grid. So all of the drivers with odd numbers, so Piastri, Verstappen, Russell, they're all starting on the left hand side. They'll have the clean side of the grid to them. Norris, Hadjar, Leclerc, all of the drivers with even numbers, they will have the dirty side of the grid. They'll be on the right hand side. So that's not going to be a huge difference here in Zandvoort, mainly because of the rain that arrived yesterday. The rain that arrived yesterday allowed will have washed off a lot of the rubber, which meant that you're not really going to have too big of a difference between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mark Bruja, for the donation. Oh, also, folks, what I can do, YouTube actually gives me the ability to gift channel membership, so I can actually send 5 random people will be getting a channel membership. So, folks, if you do win, then be sure to type in the chat. But there we go. I can give out another 5 more. Fantastic. Yeah, every month. So I think, well, today's the last day of the month, so I think next weekend out in Monza as well, I'll be able to give out 10 more. But this is the main thing. Into turn number one, you've got a reasonably long run, actually, in towards turn number one here. So you make your way down, and you only start hitting the brakes, especially when you're going from standstill halfway down the straight. You only start hitting the brakes after the 50-meter board. So you've got around, I think it's 360 meters before you start hitting the brakes from the run into turn number one. So that gives you a lot of, that gives you a lot of ability to slipstream past your rivals. And the other thing about this corner, it is an incredible corner to have as turn number one. And the reason for that is, going into turn one, you can actually go 4 wide. It is wide enough here, most certainly wide enough for 3 wide, and you could probably get away with 4 wide as well. So it's really good going into turn one. However, on the second half of the corner, the track really tightens up, and now it's very, very narrow here. You can barely go 2 wide. So it sort of mushes everyone together. It's a recipe for collisions, but it's also a recipe for action. And we could have some drivers, off over there on the curb, some people off on the grass on the right hand side. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But I know for a fact Max Verstappen is going to get very aggressive going in towards turn number one. And if he has the ability to send a late lunge down the inside, then he most certainly will be doing that in front of his home fans. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But all of the drivers, as you can see there, have lined up on the grid. We've got a couple of yellow flags waving. I think that's the marshals just going out onto the circuit, picking some stuff that they see up. They may see some debris, they may see some flags or something like that. They're just picking everything up off the grass, and then once they're back onto the side of behind the guardrails, they'll press the track clear button. Okay. Max must know I speak German, but the commentary of the Swiss stream, but this one's just better. I thought, well, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, so let's continue on through, what will happen at lap number one. You can continue on through here, and at this point, you really want to be going either side by side or single file. You cannot go 3 wide through turn number 2, especially because you lose a huge amount of grip the further wide that you drift, because there's a lot of grip on the inside of turn number 2, but if you drift 1 car width out, you maybe lose a little bit of grip. If you drift 2 car widths out, there's no grip out there whatsoever. And you have to take such a long corner because you're on the outside line. You're guaranteed to lose the position, so you might as well back out a little bit earlier and not risk going out onto the gravel. So you continue on now towards turn number 3. This is, again, a super duper wide corner, very similar to turn number 1. You start out really, really wide, and you can have 3 wide, 4 wide. Someone could set a late lunge down the inside, someone could go around the outside. But then, again, very similar to turn number 1, it tightens up really quickly, and now it's maximum 2 wide, but ideally single file. So really good overtaking opportunity, and if you are decisive, if you could send an overtake to the inside, you could gain a lot of positions, and well, only time will tell who's going to be gaining those positions and who's going to be losing them. Okay, Oh my God, the Dutch fans are out there in, well, all of them are out there, and you can see them all waving around their flags, and the whole grandstand has turned into the Dutch flag, which is incredible, and yeah, great to see. So we shall see, we'll see what happens there, and will the Dutch fans get a race win from their home hero, or will they have to settle for a podium? Or is Max Verstappen just going to end up in the points? Who knows? Weather update, it is dry, ladies and gentlemen. There are clouds in the sky. It is totally actually not blacked over. It's totally covered in clouds, like it's just grey skies, but you can't see the sun, but the clouds aren't particularly grey either. They're very, very light grey, not the type of rain clouds that you're expecting to see, to be honest. So, yeah, we've got 4,000 people watching the stream. If you guys do a rain dance, maybe we'll get some rain. But as of right now, it looks like it's going to be a dry race, at least for the first 3 quarters. We don't really know about what the forecast is going to do in the last quarter of the race. All right, we have got 4,000 people watching. Folks, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed as well, be sure to do that. As it says at the top right there, face reveal at 200k. So, if we hit 200k, I'll do a face reveal. I haven't got a webcam set up, actually, so it would be a little bit bodged if I did it today. But I think we'll hit 195k today. And then the Monza. Next weekend, we shall hit 200. Well, that's at least what I'm hoping for. Let's see what happens. All right. Is Norris going to choke? Is Norris going to bottle? Is he... well, I don't know. I can't tell you for certain if Norris is going to bottle or not. But, well, let's put it this way. Norris hasn't had the most consistency on race starts. He's improved in the past couple of races. So maybe there will be some more performance for him to have. Maybe he'll start the race on the softs. This is the thing, because here in Zandvoort, a two-stop strategy is really likely, because the thing that Pirelli have done, they've brought a step softer tyres, so we're going to have a lot more tyre wear, and the tyres are going to last a lot less time. And the other thing is, when you're driving through the pit lane, the speed limit used to be 60 kilometers per hour. Now it is 80 kilometers per hour. So, if it took you 10 seconds normally to drive through the pit lane, it now takes you 7.5 seconds. If it took you 20 seconds to drive through the pit lane before, it now only takes you 15 seconds. So that 5-second loss, that 5-second reduction is going to really add to the two-stop strategy options. And yeah, I think Norris could take a gamble, start the race on the soft, try and get ahead of Piastri right at the start, because we know he doesn't have the top speed. That's the thing. He did a really good lap yesterday to secure second position, but he doesn't have the top speed to be able to make that overtake, because he's just running a higher downforce setup than Piastri. Maybe if Piastri makes a mistake, maybe if Piastri runs out of battery, Norris can get an overtake past, but he's going to need to force a mistake from Piastri. There's no way that he's just going to be able to breeze past him in towards turn number 1. So either it's got to be an overtake down the inside on lap 1, or it's got to be a force a mistake from Oscar Piastri, who is, well, notoriously cool, calm and collected and doesn't really make mistakes. Or it is, well, sit behind in second place and let that championship gap, which is currently 9 points, extend itself up to, what will that be, 16 points. So yeah, it's a tough decision really for Norris to make, and we'll see what he will do. Well, I'll continue on taking you through this lap here. So turns number 5 and 6. This was turn number 7 there. This is turn number 8 now. What you want to do for this corner, you can hit this curb. It's not too bumpy, but then you want to make sure you're all the way out wide and you're braking and steering not when you're on the curb. This is a simulator. You can get away with braking on the curb. In real life, you cannot, because at this point, you're asking the tyre to do 2 things. You're asking it to brake, and you're also asking it to turn. And, well, if you're on the curb, that already gives you reduced grip, and then you're asking a tyre to do 2 different things. It's a recipe for locking up, and it's a recipe for crashing. So you got to stay off the curbs once you're in, if you're driving in real life. And then turn number 10 here, good opportunity to get a run and get close in towards turn number 11, because you can overtake into 11, but the chances are that you've got a lot of dirty air going through turn number 7, 8 and 9, so it's difficult to make an overtake there. And now you want to get a bad exit, in fact, into turn number 11. You want to get a bad exit so you can get a good entry into 12, and then this is where you set up your action. If you can get a really nice exit out of here, get very smooth on the steering through turn number 13, all the way out to the left-hand side over the curbs, and then foot flat to the floor all the way towards turn number 1. That's how you set up an overtake. And, you know, you're flat for quite a while. The straight on the circuit itself doesn't look that long, but when you take into account that you're actually flat from the exit of turn number 13 here, right from this point here, you're flat. That extends the length of the straight a lot more, and it, well, opens up a lot more overtaking chances. So... okay, and that's a lap of Zandvoort, folks. So let me just make this a little bit smaller and put this over here, and we shall continue on. So, okay. The scary thing about Oscar Piastri's press conference is that he's still not satisfied by his qualifying lap and wants to improve. Yeah, I mean, all of these drivers know. Even, you know, I think it was 2018 Singapore, Lewis Hamilton beat the simulations. Like, the teams have the ideal, most perfect lap that could ever be done, calculated by the computer. Lewis Hamilton beat that lap, and everyone was totally over the moon, like, Hamilton is an absolute god, and what a qualifying lap that was. And, you know, that is true. But then Hamilton himself was like, oh no, I made at least 3 or 4 mistakes there. I could have run about 2 meters wider on turn number 4. I could have got closer to the apex at turn number 8, I think. So these drivers are, well, their pursuit of perfection is on a whole nother level. You know, like, a lot of people think that they like to be perfect, but these drivers, they know every little bit of lap time that they can extract, and they've got the data to prove it as well. You know, they can see how far they were from the apex from the telemetry. They can see, oh, did they get a bit of wheel spin? And they'll look to correct every little bit of it. And that's what's got them to the top of the field. That's what's got them to Formula One. Because, you know, if you don't have that pursuit for perfection, you're not making it to Formula One. All right. That 2018 Singapore pole lap was insane. He could have went 2 centimeters closer to the wall. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, around Singapore and around a lot of street circuits, it's quite interesting. The quickest line sometimes is actually to hit the barrier ever so slightly. You can carry more speed by just tapping the barrier. Hope that your car doesn't break, but it's ever so slightly quicker actually to do that. But of course, I'm sure the engineers aren't particularly happy about that, hearing the drivers are going to go crash the cars into the barrier. Log the chat, Hamilton P6 or DNF? Well, we shall see, you know. Let me know what you think, folks. Do you think Lewis Hamilton is going to end up ahead of Charles Leclerc in today's race? And another question for you guys about Ferrari. Is Charles Leclerc going to crash out on the radio again? Are we going to get at least a 7-line long radio message from Charles Leclerc? Or is this race going to be good? I don't really know. But let's see. Some people think that Hamilton will get ahead of Charles. Some people think that they'll get a podium. And, well, we'll see. You know, this is the thing. The other thing, as I was saying, going into turn number 1 and 2, the track really tightens down. And if it does, that produces the opportunity for a Spain 2016 moment to occur where the two drivers crash into each other and they go out. And, you know, we could have potentially Isaak Hadjar up there on the podium. So circuit very, very narrow. We know for a fact that Norris is going to now try and push that little bit harder. The races will start running out, you know. You can't rely on the fact that, oh, Piastri will get a DNF at some point and I'll win the race and I'll get 25 points that way. He has to fight from now right till the end of the season, every single qualifying, every single race. And yeah, he's got to be a little bit decisive today, and you know, maybe he'll push off a bit of an aggressive move. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll get a good start. But we shall see what happens. He is starting on the ever so slightly more dirty side of the grid compared to what Piastri will be doing, but it's relatively similar. It's not too big of a difference there for Lando Norris, and he should be all right. I agree fully, MCG, lol. I think both drivers will be crashing out today. Maybe both drivers will crash out. Maybe some words of wisdom from... maybe some words of wisdom as well from Charles Leclerc. It could be interesting. My predictions for the race, I have a feeling that we are going to get at least 2 safety cars this Grand Prix, and I also think that we will get contact between the 2 McLarens. That is what I think is going to happen in today's Grand Prix. And in terms of who finishes on the podium, I'm actually going to be rooting for Isaak Hadjar. Normally, I'm pretty unbiased, of course, apart from Nico Hülkenberg. When Nico Hülkenberg is going for the podium, I was the most biased person in the world, but I think Isaak Hadjar be pretty good to see him up on the podium. He could risk a demotion to the full Red Bull team. That might be a bit of an issue for him, but it's quite likely the helmet marker is going to keep Yuki Tsunoda right till the end of the season. And a Hadjar podium would be very, very nice, though. And the thing is, the Racing Bull car is not slow. Hadjar's qualifying lap today was... yesterday was just pure pace from Isaak Hadjar. That car is still reasonably quick. You can see there Lawson in 8th position. So he's got the pace to at least get himself up into 4th position. He may spend the entire race causing a huge DRS strain. Hadjar, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Lawson, Sainz, Alonso. But if he can hold up in 4th position, that is a fantastic job nonetheless. And... who knows what will happen? I think we definitely will get a DRS train as well from Isaak Hadjar. DRS train choo-choo from 4th position down to probably 10th or so, where we'll see stuff starting to get mixed up. Alright, Colapinto will red flag, maybe he will, maybe he won't, but his pace hasn't been too bad compared to Pierre Gasly this weekend. The Alpine just hasn't got much pace overall, but Colapinto not too far behind Gasly this weekend, and, pretty good going. I don't think he's raced at this circuit before. All right. We have got nearly 6,000 people watching the stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Also, I've released some merch there, as it says at the bottom right of the track map. It's out on. Oh no, this is the wrong one. It's out on slipstream.clothing. There's a link in the description. It's got quite a few designs. I haven't completed all of the designs yet, but there's Max Verstappen, there's Imola, there's Nico Hülkenberg, which I corrected the spelling for. In fact, I did spell it wrong. So I've corrected the Nico Hülkenberg spelling, so if any of you German fans are interested, go ahead and check that out. Alrighty, we'll get rid of that. And we are now 15 minutes away from the start of the race, so I shall run you through the strategy options once again. What has Pirelli predicted for today's race? Start the race on the medium tyres, then go on to the hards. That is the boring option, but it also leaves you very susceptible to potentially getting beaten by guys who are doing if a safety car comes out. Doing a one-stop strategy leaves you a little bit more susceptible to just getting beaten by, or getting undercut by people who will pit under the safety car. So we'll see how that works out, because I am predicting a safety car today. And the second quickest strategy, start the race on the soft tyres, then go out onto the hards, then go onto the mediums for your final stint. The mediums final stint is really good, because then when you need the pace to get the overtakes done in the final couple of laps, you've got the fresh medium tyres to go out and deliver some performance. You don't want to be out on the hards when you need to make a quick overtake. You want the medium tyres. So, the medium tyres that's a pretty good strategy, and we may see some teams use it. It really depends. Track temperature now, 29 degrees Celsius. It's hotter than we've seen all weekend long. So all of the tyre wear calculations that the teams have done, they'll all have to be adjusted to take into account the higher tyre wear. The other thing around here in Zandvoort is that you've got a lot of right-hand corners, and the right-hand corners cause a lot more tyre wear on the left side of the car. So just for an example here, turn number 1, right-hand corner, pretty high speed. Oh, Russell's just come over the radio to say, wow, I'm not sure what that's about, but interesting. Then again, you've got turn number 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all right-hand corners, putting huge load onto the front left. And the thing is, they're all consecutive as well. So your tyre sort of warms up by 7. It's up to temperature and potentially overheating by 8. Then by 9, it's most certainly overheating. And then, it gets a bit of a relaxation through 10 and 11 and 12. But then again, 13 and 14, right up to temperature, right warming up again, potentially overheating. So you do have to be a little bit careful with your front left, and that's going to be the big issue. We're going to see drivers coming over the radio saying, my front left is terrible, I've got no grip on right-hand corners specifically. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is not currently raining right now, but I don't know what weather radar the FIA has, because they've just said the risk of rain is 60%. That is 60, not 60% chance of rain from the FIA, which is always good news. So thank you, FIA, and maybe we'll get some rain. It's currently dry right now though, folks. Would just like to clarify, no rain as of right now. There are a lot of grey clouds about though. Orange, thanks for the donation. Can I get your prediction on Hadjar and Tsunoda? Well, I think Hadjar could keep the car up in the top 5. It's going to be a struggle, and he's going to need a perfect race, perfect strategy, but he could keep his car up in the top 5. And in terms of Yuki Tsunoda, potentially up into the points, but it's going to be a struggle. He's just not really suited to the Red Bull car, is he? And the pace difference between himself and Max was only 0.4 of a second or so during all the practice sessions, but yeah, 0.4 of a second has now got 9 cars in between him and Max, so a lot of work to do there for Tsunoda. So if I was to give a prediction, I'd say maybe 9th position. Not really sure. Vienna Blinders, thanks for the donation. Thanks for the live stream. Greatly appreciated. Well, thank you for tuning in. And we've got 7,000 people tuned in. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And yeah, we're 11 minutes now away from the start of this race. Okie dokes, then here we go. Rain will come out anytime during the race, boat race incoming. Well, in 2023 we did have 7 pit stops because of all of the rain. And this is the other thing here. The weather, because Zandvoort is right next to the coast, it is super unpredictable. And sometimes the wind will change directions, blow the clouds away from the circuit. Sometimes they'll blow the clouds onto the circuit. So I will carry on giving you guys constant weather updates, especially when the risk of rain is up there at 60%. Who knows what will happen, but we've got 72 laps of racing around here in Zandvoort, and the pit stop lost time I think is 18 seconds with the new updated pit stop speed limit, but I will try and just double check that because I cannot remember. Yeah. Jensen Button race for Lance, maybe. Also, just a quick note on upgrades. We have got a tiny upgrade for the Red Bull front wing. They've got a slightly bigger front wing, specifically for Zandvoort, I think, but also just an upgrade. So we'll see how that works out, but it hasn't really made much noticeable difference this weekend, has it? And Alpine have a slightly tweaked rear brake duct, and I think Kick Sauber also do. But apart from that, no significant changes for any teams. And this is the kind of thing that we're going to be expecting right till the end of the season here, folks, because everyone is now focusing on 2026. I'll once again bring up the Constructors' Championship. So maybe we'll get an upgrade from RB or Aston Martin so they can secure 5th position in the Constructors, because that is going to be a lot of more prize money compared to 8th. And as for Ferrari and Mercedes, 2nd and 3rd position, both of the teams have huge buckets of cash lying around. They don't really care about being 2nd in the Constructors. So we'll see maybe one more upgrade package for Mercedes, but to try and get 2nd place, but that doesn't really matter for either teams. They're all focusing on 2026 because the big thing is trying to win the championship at 26. They don't really care about 2nd place in the Constructors right now. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about. All right, so here we go. Then 9 minutes left on the clock. Oscar Piastri has, it's actually being transcribed. That's not an actual radio message from Piastri, but that's just signaled that the radio messages are going to work today, which is a good sign. Why don't they care about 2025? Well, it's mainly because 2026 is going to have a huge set of new regulations, and because of that, it's a huge opportunity to leapfrog every other team, do what Mercedes did in 2014, and just be so quick that no one else can compete. So I think that's what all of the teams are really trying to do, and that's why they've stopped focusing on 2025 and started focusing on 2026. In fact, I think about 6 races ago was when Williams switched off development for this current year's car, and they've gone to focus totally on 2026. Aston Martin have been cooking with Adrian Newey. None of their upgrades this weekend are from Adrian Newey. They've in fact took off some upgrades, because since I think about 2024, halfway through 2024, every single upgrade that Aston Martin has brought has turned out to be a downgrade. Quite a big surprise, to be honest, but that's what Alonso said over in some of the press conferences. So they've took off all of the downgrade packages, and now they've actually got a reasonably quick car in the high downforce circuits. Low downforce circuits still struggling a bit, but it doesn't matter now. There's only 10 races left of this season before we've got a brand new set of regulations. Okay, we'll get the tyre information coming through shortly as well. Just to clarify here, folks, Oliver Behrman starting from the pit lane. Some setup changes for him because, he just wasn't too happy with the car yesterday. He was qualified in 19th. We might as well take the sacrifice, start that right there in dead last, but also have a nicer setup for the race. All right, you can see there we have got We got Carlos Sainz there talking about the seatbelts. Pierre Gasly says good year. I think he's saying maybe good morning or something else. But yeah, good year. Maybe we should have some Goodyear tires in Formula One. Let's wait and see. Is it raining? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Alright folks, just a quick reminder, what you can do to watch Formula 1 for $2 a month is you get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description, join a Swiss VPN server, search SRF, and once you do that you can enjoy Formula 1. The commentary is in German, so what you do is you mute the coverage and you listen to me, but you can still watch things at the same time, and yeah, and if it doesn't work for whatever reason, you can always get a refund. So we've got around 500 or so people using this method to watch the Formula 1 right now. In fact, I myself am watching it using this method. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. All right, Milton Russell, thanks for joining the channel member. Very much is appreciated. And thanks everyone that is a channel member already. Big shout out to you guys. It's only, I think, €1, £1, $1 a month. And it goes a long way to helping out the channel and allowing me to do what I do. So yeah, thank you very, very much. And be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Hopefully you can hit, I think, 2,000 likes before the race gets underway with 6 minutes left. And shortly we'll be getting the tyre information from the FIA to see which drivers are starting on which tyres. Let me know what strategy you think we're going to have. Are we going to have most certainly 2 stops, maybe some 1 stops? I think the McLarens can try and do a one-stop strategy because their tyre wear is really, really good, but Pirelli have brought 1 step softer compounds compared to last year. Last year it was a pretty straightforward 1-stop for most drivers. Some drivers did a 2-stop, but this year with the softer tyres and also the increased pit lane speed limit, we should be getting many more 2-stop drivers, and yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, all the drivers just doing their radio checks now will be getting underway for the race very, very soon. Fantastic, then. Okay. Mehmet Bilal Dojogan, I've definitely messed it up, but Mehmet, thank you for joining the Race Win channel membership. Actually, that's I think that's €4 a month or something, but thank you very, very much. Really is a big help. Okay, so here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the tyre information coming through, and here we go. Half the tyre information coming through. Second half, we've got some drivers on the hard, some drivers on the softs. It looks to be everyone is on the mediums. What is Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda doing? For some reason, the Red Bull tyre information hasn't come through. If Red Bull forgot to tell the FIA, I don't know what's happened there, but the majority of the drivers starting on the medium tyres because it gives you the flexibility. Let's say, you start on the mediums, you work out, oh, the tyre wear is actually pretty good. Maybe we'll do a 1-stop, or you realize, oh, the tyre wear is really bad, oh, we'll do a 2-stop. So that's the flexibility that the drivers want. But if Verstappen's out on a set of softs, I could easily see him sending one to the inside of Norris and Piastri and trying to take the lead of this race. But who knows, folks? If you know what tyres Max is on, be sure to let me know in the chat, but I think we'll find out once the race begins. Yeah, actually, yeah, no, Red Bull's on the Goodyear tyres. They're on the Hypersofts from Pirelli from 2018. Yeah, Colapinto and Hulkenberg starting on the soft tyres, and we've got Ocon and Behrman starting on the hards. They're going for the alternate strategy, hoping for a safety car or something to help them out, because let's be honest, the Haas isn't all that quick this weekend. All right. Let's see, why is Lando not on the softs? Because McLaren think that they can out-strategy Oscar Piastri, or just get a better start than him. But I don't know how they're going to get a better start, because Norris is on the dirty side of the grid here, folks. All of the drivers with even numbers, they're going to be starting on the right-hand side of the grid, and that is the dirty side of the grid. The drivers with the odd numbers are starting on the left-hand side. They have the clean side. They'll have a slightly better start. So we'll see which works out better, but yeah, Norris is already at a bit of a disadvantage, and then he's also starting in second place. So, maybe the soft tyres would have brought that disadvantage into level playing, but who knows what will happen. Hadjar Podium, maybe. I mean, especially if we have the 2 McLarens crash into each other, then maybe we'll have a Hadjar Podium. But Hadjar Podium, it requires him to get ahead of Max Verstappen or Lando Norris, one of the drivers, or Piastri to get a podium, which is, well, is a tough ask considering that he's in a racing bull. Some say that Max is on the softs. Well, I don't know how anyone's really knowing what tyres Max is on, because the starting grid is, because we are still not, where everyone's still on. Oh, there we. Oh, he is on the soft tires. Okay, well, I guess the data has just come through now. Max Verstappen starting the race on the softs, ladies and gentlemen. So, well, this is a recipe for action, isn't it? Verstappen in the first, I think it's going to be the first 9 laps of this race, will have a quicker car compared to Piastri and Norris because of that advantage for the soft tires. After 9 or so laps, the advantage is going to disappear because the soft tires will wear out. But for their first 9 laps, ladies and gentlemen, Max Verstappen is going to be cooking, and he's going to try and cook the McLarens. We'll see if the McLarens drive off into the sunset or drive off into the windy clouds of the Netherlands. But yeah, there's not much sun going around in the Netherlands right now, and I don't think there really is ever. But yeah, track temperature 29 degrees Celsius. The wind has died down, and also it's blowing from a different direction. It's blowing from the northwest. If any of you watching my practice streams, the wind has been blowing every single stream, every single time from the southern direction, and now it's blowing across the circuit like this, which is really going to change up the characteristics, and the drivers are going to have to get used to it. They must have done at least, I think, 500 kilometers of racing around the circuit with the wind blowing in certain direction, and the wind really has a huge impact on grip levels. So now the wind is blowing a different direction. That is also going to change things up. Oh, right. Well, as I finished making that point, the wind has now just changed direction. So maybe the wind's just going to continue changing direction all day, but I guess it's the commentator's curse. 50 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have the formation lap getting underway very, very soon. All the drivers are in the car. They are put on their helmets. They are closing their visors. The gloves are on. And we are about to get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. 15,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And I will be commentating next weekend out in Monza, the Temple of Speed, Ferrari's home circuit. And I suspect there'll be a lot of overtakes there as well. Oscar Piastri broke the track record of the Zandvoort circuit to get pole position yesterday. Still in the 1:08, though we didn't dip down into the 1:07s. But as you can see there, 30 seconds left to go on the radios. The radio's ever so slightly delayed to the timer that I've got there on the top right. But here we go then. Who is it going to be? Also, do you think we're going to have a clean lap number 1? I most certainly do not think we're going to have a clean lap number 1. I think we're going to have some incidents on lap 1. But let's see. So firstly the formation lap, and then it'll be lights out and away we go. So there we go. Oscar Piastri leads the way from the front. He has got a nice start. And, well, just warming up his tyres, weaving around, getting the brakes up into temperature, selecting the correct clutch settings, and getting ready to go racing. All right, who is it going to be, folks? Who is going to be winning this race? Is it Oscar Piastri? Is it Max Verstappen? They're making their way around the circuit now. Let's wait and see. Or is it going to be Lando Norris? Verstappen, though, is on the soft tyres. If he gets a better reaction time than Piastri, he will most certainly get a better launch. And with 360 metres from pole position in towards the braking zone of turn number 1, Max Verstappen can send a lunge to the inside. Vienna Blinders, thanks for the donation. Will Max Verstappen win the Dutch Grand Prix? Will someone else? Well, I think lap number 1 is going to dictate it. If Verstappen gets a really good launch on those soft tyres, who knows what will happen. Alrighty then, here we go. Formation lap, ladies and gentlemen. The wind has died down a little bit, and we're going to have 72 laps of racing here. Just to quickly reiterate, Max is starting on the softs, which means he has confirmed he will be doing a 2-stop strategy. There is no way in the world that he'll be able to do a 1-stop on when he starts the race on soft tyres. So, confirmed 2-stop already for Max Verstappen. Same thing for Tsunoda, same thing for Colapinto and Hulkenberg, and we'll see how it works out for them. Track temperature's up at 29 degrees. It's the highest we've seen all weekend long, which means a lot more tyre wear than the teams have been expecting, and that could play into things and affect the strategy. Alright, but here we are in Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen. The drivers making their way out the final couple of corners, weaving to the left, weaving to the right, doing the burnouts, getting the rear tyres up to the zone. And, well, let's wait and see. We'll go from the bottom. We've got Oliver Behrman starting from the pit lane. Lance Stroll in 19th after crashing and qualifying. He's got some great work to do. Ocon is in 18th. Hulkenberg in 17th. Colapinto is in 16th. Alex Albon in 15th position. He managed to just make it through into Q2. Pierre Gasly in 14th position, Bortoleto in 13th, out-qualifying Nico Hülkenberg for another occasion for Bortoleto. Solid job from him. Tsunoda in 12th place, unfortunately not making it through into Q3. Same thing for Kimi Antonelli. Fernando Alonso had a lot of pace in practice. That disappeared by the time we got to quali. Let's see what he can do in the race. Sainz is in 9th position in that Williams. It's the first time he's actually made it through into Q3 since Imola, which has been quite a while, and maybe Sainz will return to his form in the second half of the season. Liam Lawson in 8th position, great quali from him and the two Ferrari drivers, 6th and 7th. Hamilton is back and on par with Charles Leclerc. Russell up in 5th position, Hadjar in 4th with a astonishingly amazing qualifying lap yesterday. Verstappen in 3rd. Lando Norris in 2nd, Piastri on pole position after breaking the lap record yesterday. We have got all the cars lined up on the side of the grid. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It is a lights out and away we go. Piastri cuts off Lando Norris. Verstappen tries to go round the outside. He does so. Piastri closes the door on Verstappen. Who is it going to be? Norris or Verstappen in towards turn number 2 and 3. And oh, it's a huge snap for Verstappen. Huge snap. Oh, let me just get everything in sync, folks. It's a little bit delayed here. Huge snap for Max, but he manages to keep the car under control and ahead of Lando Norris. That is incredible. He just slips out ahead, even though he was all out of shape. Oscar Piastri, though, he is running off into the sunset. He needs to break that 1 second gap ASAP, because Max on those fresh softs will chase him down and there'll be no stopping the Flying Dutchman. Further down the field, we have got Alex Albon up 5 position. Alex Albon, great start from him. He's up next to his teammate now, and we'll see what the Williams boys can do. Tsunoda up 1 place as well. Alonso, a bit of a bad start, down 6 positions. Bortoleto down 6 positions as well. Oh, sorry, Alonso down 3, Bortoleto down 6. And Piastri's done it. Piastri has broken DRS. It has only been 4 kilometers of racing, but in those 4 kilometers, Oscar Piastri has already broken DRS to Max Verstappen. That is ridiculous. Here they come then, down the start-finish straight for the first time. Piastri is in the lead with Verstappen in 2nd place, Lando Norris in 2nd, and we're just getting all of the fastest sectors coming through here now, all of them coming from Oscar Piastri. Incredible pace to start out the race. Race start and Lando losing positions. Yeah, he's bottled it again, hasn't he? Max Verstappen was all out of shape. He was practically sideways going through turn 2, but still, Lando Norris lost out. What can you say? All right. Here we go then. We are settling into the Dutch Grand Prix. Isaak Hadjar, as predicted, maybe causing a bit of a DRS train here. In fact, Norris hasn't got so much pace and Isaak Hadjar is keeping up with him. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what do I have to tell you now? Lando Norris has got a high downforce setup. What does that mean? A low top speed. He hasn't got DRS from Max Verstappen ahead of him. Isaak Hadjar does have DRS on Lando Norris. That could make him a sitting duck, depending on how Isaak Hadjar drives in the next couple of these corners. He's 8/10 back now. He goes through the DRS detection point. He will again have DRS on Lando Norris. Norris is going to be a sitting duck. His top speeds aren't looking so good so far, and yeah, not ideal for the British driver. Oscar Piastri, the leader of the race, fastest lap of the race, extends the gap out to Max Verstappen. He is doing exactly what he needs, is the man from Melbourne. And the fastest final sector comes from Yuki Tsunoda. He got a nice toe there and a huge DRS train, which got him that fastest final sector. But Oscar Piastri, man on a mission, doing everything he needs to do correctly. Max is on the soft tyres. He gets an extra 0.5 of a second boost every single lap. But the dirty air, in combination with Piastri's pace, means Max just cannot close that gap. Okay, here comes Lando Norris. Purple first sector. He's not giving up so easily. I think he's about to break DRS to Isaak Hadjar, and he's going to try and close up to Max Verstappen. We'll see what he can do. Here we go then. Yeah, but the top Hadjar still in 4th position, and his pace really isn't that slow. Like, he's keeping up with Norris reasonably well. He's now just lost DRS, and he's now going to become the lead of the DRS train. Hadjar, Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, in fact, all the way from 4th position down into 19th, we have got a big old DRS train. Stroll just gets ahead of Bortoleto. Nice overtake there from Stroll. But as the drivers make their way down the start-finish straight again, we have got Oscar Piastri in the lead and Max Verstappen in 2nd place. And what is that? Another fastest lap of the race there for Piastri. Oh, the data's frozen for a sec. Let me just give it a quick refresh here, folks. Hopefully that should fix itself. But yeah, some issues going on with the data. We'll continue on with the commentary, and hopefully things will resolve themselves as the race progresses. But up in the front, we have got Piastri leading the way, and the gaps have gone as well. Everything is frozen, including the team radios. Are the DRS still working? No, the DRS is also still not working. Rain incoming, maybe. I mean, the clouds have suddenly got a lot darker here. The clouds have got a lot darker. What is going on? All right, let's give this a refresh. The screen's going to go black here for a second, folks. And hopefully we should be back. All right, it looks like we are back. The data is working again. All right, there we go. The data is working. Fantastic. Apologies there, folks. And Piastri, they're still up in the lead of this race, and look at that gap. Oh my god, he is 2.5 seconds clear. Right, I'm going to have to add in a little bit of delay here. The data's going to freeze for about 10 seconds here, folks. 10 seconds, the screen will freeze, and then it'll be back. And I've just got to sync some stuff up because the footage is a little bit too far ahead right now. But yeah, it's paused there for 10 seconds, and then it'll be back. So just bear with me. Okay, there we go. Continuing on then, so Hadjar under pressure from Charles Leclerc. What can the man from Monaco do? He's on a fresh set of medium tyres, but so is Isaak Hadjar. So it's a straight straight race. Isaak Hadjar versus Charles Leclerc. Leclerc, of course, will have the benefit of the DRS to help him out, and George Russell was there, well, right behind Leclerc. You know, if Leclerc makes even the slightest of mistakes, then we've got Russell into help him out and potentially overtake him. Oh, important radio message. You see there, Max Verstappen has just been told over the radio, Norris is managing a lot more in turn 70. Now that, I'm sure, is turn 7, not turn 70. But turn 7 is notoriously difficult on your tyres, and yeah, essentially Lando Norris is being very, very careful. So this suggests maybe Lando Norris is doing a one-stop, because you can pull off the one-stop strategy here, folks. You can pull off the one-stop. So we'll see if Lando Norris can try and make it work. But yeah, his purple first sectors don't sort of indicate the fact that he is managing he's managing turn number 7, which is after sector 1. So he's going all out in sector 1, then backs off, lets his tyres cool down a little bit going through turn number 7. Ladies and gentlemen, it is raining. Look at this Oscar Piastri radio message. Rain will be light at turn number 13 and 14 first. The wind is blowing from the southwesterly direction. It is blowing rain clouds over the circuit, ladies and gentlemen. So Piastri has just been told over the radio the rain is going to arrive here first, and then it's going to blow across the entire circuit. It is going to rain. Let's go. All right. Thanks for the donation there. Of done. I love your streams. Love you very much. Well, thank you for all of the support. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have some rain in Zandvoort. I cannot wait. Rain is arriving in 3 minutes' time. Brilliant. Okay. Lewis Hamilton's tyres are getting hot in... Lewis Hamilton says his tyres are getting hot in the rears, and yeah, you could expect that. He's in a DRS train. Hadjar, Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton. He's got loads of dirty air. 4 cars worth of dirty air ahead of him, and that's not going to be helping out his grip levels, to be totally honest with you. All right, Oscar Piastri, fastest lap of the race. Ladies and gents, this is the thing. Now they know that rain is arriving in 3 laps' time. It is time for maximum attack. Push as hard as you physically possibly can, because then by the time the rain arrives, you want to pit onto intermediate tyres. You've worn out your tyres. You've used as much pace as you possibly can. And Lando Norris is gaining, ladies and gentlemen. Max Verstappen is coming under pressure of Lando Norris. Verstappen on the softs, the 6-lap-old soft tyres, they're wearing out pretty quickly. The medium tyres, not so much. Here comes Lando Norris. Can he overtake Max Verstappen? He hasn't got the top speed advantage, but he does have the speed through the corners. And if the F1 movie has taught me anything, we need the speed through the corners, because you need to build a car for combat. All right. And yeah, Norris just dips under that 1 second window. So on the next lap, he's going to have DRS. He's going to have to get the move done quickly, though, ladies and gentlemen, because once the rain arrives, DRS may get disabled. Rain, when it came over the radio, they were expecting rain on lap 10. So currently we're on lap 8. And yeah, so essentially in 2-3 laps time, we're getting rain. Charles Leclerc looks to the inside of Isaak Hadjar, can't get an overtake done. But, we shall wait and see what happens there. Pierre Gasly has some understeer. And, he's in a lot of traffic. So understeer is going to be very, very prevalent indeed. Jedi Fire, thanks for the donation. Thank you for keeping F1 accessible to all. Here's to hoping Hadjar gets a podium. Yeah, well, with rain falling, anything can happen, and it usually does. DRS has been activated for Lando Norris. He makes his way down in towards turn number 11. What can he do? Can he get ahead of Max Verstappen? Can he not? Let's wait and see. He closes that gap up, though, now. It is now 0.6 of a second as he heads towards the entry of turn number 13. You need a really good run. Do you add a turn number 13? What can Norris do? He's again activated DRS so early on. You can use DRS just as you exit turn number 14, you can use DRS. Norris gaining. He looks to the inside. Does he get the overtake done on Max Verstappen? Side by side, and yes, he does. Norris gets ahead of Max in one fell swoop. It doesn't matter that he didn't have the top speed. He had the slipstream, he had the DRS, and he got past Max Verstappen round the outside. What a move. I would have expected Max to be a little bit more aggressive, push him a little wider, but who knows? POV Stroll, it's raining, it's Senna time. Well, we shall see. Lance Stroll, he's got into the pits now. Wait, has Stroll pitted for intermediate tyres this early? What is he doing? He was on the mediums, so there's no reason to pit. Wait, what? Stroll's just pitted onto the hards. Okay. Lance Stroll things, really. Fastest lap of the race, though, from Lando Norris, but he's got a 5-second gap to his teammate. 5 whole seconds that he's got to close up in, well, he's got a lot of laps left, 64 laps left, but next up it's overtaking Oscar, and they're planning to do it on the circuit as well. Lando Norris has just been told, good job, next up Oscar. So his first sector's purple, his middle sector's green, and Oscar Piastri's just set a fastest lap of the race. Will Lando Norris beat it? Are we going to have the fastest lap switching? No, we're not, because Norris goes 40 milliseconds slower. Both drivers are pushing like crazy, but Oscar Piastri 40 milliseconds quicker on that previous lap. And I'd like to point out there, Norris had a slipstream for the entirety of that straight when he set his previous lap. So yes, some pretty good pace there from Piastri, considering he didn't have a DRS, didn't have a slipstream, still managed to keep up the pace. But that pace dying out a little bit because Norris is still purple in the first sector and Piastri not. Piastri's yellow. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is lap number 10. When the rain was expected to arrive, it was expected to arrive at turn number 13 first. So we will probably see the final sector be a lot slower for every single driver because they're going to have to be cautious. They're going to have to brake ever so slightly earlier, and they're going to have to look at what the rain is going to do and how is it going to affect their grip levels. Okay. Oh, Stroll had an issue with Bortoletto, and that's why he went into the pits to change tyres. It's just come over race control that there's no further investigation between Stroll and Bortoletto. Alright, here comes Oscar Piastri, slower than his previous lap by 1/10 of a second. What can Lando Norris do? He goes purple by 0.3 of a second. Lando Norris is chasing down the Australian. Okay, lap number 11 of 72. The rain is bound to get harder and harder. The rain clouds have been pushed over the circuit now. It's only time till the heavens open up. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. By the way, we got 29,000 people tuned into the live stream. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Another purple first sector for Lando Norris. He was conserving his tyres in the first stint when he was stuck behind Max. He got ahead of Max in one attempt, and now he is chasing down Oscar Piastri like a madman. We'll see what he can do. Charles Leclerc still stuck behind Isaak Hadjar. In fact, he's the only driver that is still stuck behind Hadjar because Russell, Hamilton, Lawson, they've all backed off a little bit because the gaps, they needed to build up the gap a little bit because their tyres were just overheating a little bit too much. I shall also put on the slow mode because we have got a little bit too many chat messages. I forgot about that. But thanks everyone for being a channel member. Really is a very, very big help. And thanks everyone for subscribing as well. If we hit 190k, if we hit 200k, I will be doing a face reveal. It says there at the top right of the screen. So yeah, be sure to subscribe. All right, Lando Norris, another fastest lap of the race. This man seems to be unstoppable. Oh, they're coming over the radio here. They're saying use 8th gear into turn number 1. Interesting. Okay, so interesting. Fernando, wait, after this shower passes, it should be dry, so we just need to manage this shower well. Okay, so essentially, maybe not loads of heavy rain, but we are still going to have rain on the circuit. And, that was very, very close. Charles Leclerc towards Hadjar. Hadjar placing his car perfectly. Nothing Charles Leclerc can do. And, yeah, Leclerc still stuck. He's staring at that Racing Bull rear wing for the past, 12 laps? And, by the way, it looks like it's going. He may be staring at it for the next 72 laps. Okay, then. Oscar Piastri is 2/10 slower on the previous lap as well. The thing is, though, 2/10 isn't that big, especially when the gap is currently 4 seconds. Norris is going to have to do that 20 laps consecutively to close that gap up to 0 if Norris is 2/10 quicker every single lap. So Piastri may be managing his tyres, managing his tyres and managing his battery as well. Because if he senses, Norris is 1.5 seconds away from me, now's a really good time to use all of my tyres, all of my battery, extend the gap out to 2.5 and dash all of Norris's hopes. So we'll see what happens. But Piastri is still being told over the radio, main opportunity is turn 3 exit, every single little bit to improve, to extract more lap time. And that's what Norris is doing. He's been coached over the radio, push a little bit harder into this corner, use a different engine setting into this corner. And, his engineer, honestly, big props to him. He is doing incredible work with Lando Norris. Okay. Also, quick reminder, the pit stop window is lap number 25 to 28. That's when the medium tyre runners should be pitting. We've just got a message over race control. Track slippery, track sector 15. That means the rain has arrived, it is falling, and is fell enough to declare that part of the circuit slippery. So, the marshals have said, there's enough rain now, it's damp enough, and all of the drivers now managing the shower, and they're going to see if it gets heavier, maybe it'll be time for inters. If it doesn't, stick it out on the slicks, just firm the loss of pace. All right, Antonelli stuck behind Sonoda, Leclerc stuck behind Hadjar. Nothing new, really. No, we're not going to get a red flag. We're not going to get a safety car or anything like that. Unless there's a crash, of course. If there's a crash, of course, we'll get a safety car. And there's also there's some debris. There's some debris as well between turn number 12 and 13. Someone has gone off onto the gravel, I think. So, rain and also some debris at that part of the circuit. The drivers will be wary of it, but they'll just push it to the side using their cars. Okay, folks, that gap is closing up at the front. Lando Norris, 3.2 seconds. Oscar Piastri, though, doing a good job to manage it, both of their lap times have now increased a little bit. They're no longer pushing as hard as they previously were. The rain that was expected to be super duper hard has turned out to be a little bit too light for them to switch onto inters. So now they're back to tyre conservation, I think. And let's see how it works out. Okay, no DNF so far. Stroll has had to pit a little bit earlier on there. And lo and behold, was it Stroll actually that brought out the gravel? It was. Stroll had a damaged floor, I think. Stroll that's brought out the track slippery warning. A part of his floor has just flown off, which is great, isn't it? The Aston Martin mechanics worked so hard overnight. On Friday, FP2, Stroll crashed the car, destroyed it entirely. They worked towards 2 a.m, 3 a.m. to fix the car. Stroll crashes again in quali, and then he crashes again in the race. It is, of course, Stroll. Okay. Also, folks, here, this green circle that you see, that means that the gap is closing. So same thing here for Stroll. The gap is closing to Behrman, but that doesn't really matter. This gap up here, 3 seconds, it's closing. It's still got this green circle. This full green means that they're within DRS range, but this green circle means that they're closing that gap up. And, good news, isn't it? Good news that the gap is closing up. How long is the pit stop? The drivers lose, I think, 18 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. 18 seconds, in the pits. Alrighty then, Max. Also, yeah, look how far back Max is. Max is only 2 seconds ahead of Isaak Hadjar. Admittedly, he is on soft tyres, which at this point are now slower than the mediums. But I would expect Max to come into the pits in the next couple of laps, if not this lap, because, yeah, if he's on the two-stop strategy, which he most likely is, considering he started the race on the softs, the pit window, lap number 13 to 19 for the soft tyres. So Verstappen should be coming in sometime soon, but he doesn't come in on this occasion. Right. More debris. Oh, yeah, Stroll's debris now affecting other drivers and kicking up more debris from the floor. That's not ideal. Bortoletto's car is in unsafe condition. Interesting. I guess we'll see what they do about that. Max is not going to pit. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, really, because it's going to be a little bit risky to extend those soft tyres all the way to lap 25 or so he can do a one-stop, and especially when he's on heavy fuel, because he's got an extra 100 kilograms worth of fuel on the car as well now, so that's not helping his tyre wear situation. George Russell, lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at turn number 3. He's got to be careful there, does George. I think it's 2 more deletions or 3 more deletions, and then he'll get a 5-second penalty heading his way. Alright, Piastri up at the front though. That gap is hovering around 3.1. It looks like Piastri's managing that well. Norris was charging him down, and he brought that gap from 4.5 to 3.1 very quickly. However, that charging down is very short-lived, and the Pirelli tyres do start overheating, so we shall see. Bortoletto's car is under investigation for being in unsafe condition. I think that's due to the contact that he had with Stroll. Something is flapping about, something is falling off his car, and that's causing the debris. Not ideal. Where's the rain? The rain arrived. It was very, very minor. You can see little specks of it here and there, but it wasn't the rain that we hoped for. It looks like it got diverted. You can see drops of rain on the camera, but yeah, not that intense. Actually, the helicopter shot has got loads of rain. The helicopter, I think, was flying close to the clouds, hence it's got more rain, but we'll see. Keep our eyes peeled here. The rain is breaking up around here. That's what Colapinto just said over the radio, so maybe the rain is 7 laps late. Okay, look, Pierre Gasly has just been told over the radio, maximum length 10 minutes. So it is going to rain, but it's only going to rain for the next 10 minutes, apparently. I just hope that it rains super hard. That's what I would like to see. Oh yeah, get the helicopter to drive to fly in the clouds, and that will cause it to rain. I'm sure 100% that's how it works. Yeah, get the helicopter to fly out there. In fact, get one of the drivers' helicopters. I'm sure they have a helicopter. They have private jets, don't they? Get a windmill. Yeah, you're in the Netherlands. You could get a windmill to do it. All right. Back to the race, though. Let's have a look at these gaps here. So, Tsunoda's still holding up Antonelli and Alonso quite well, but he's managed to get up into 11th position. And Albon as well. He got up 5 places on the start of that race. Incredible race start. And he's held that pace as well. So, he's not really any slower than Carlos Sainz. In fact, marginally, he's quicker on the previous lap. But very consistent, both of the two Williams drivers. And you know how they've worked together in the past before. They're going to be working as a duo. Let's say Tsunoda, or let's say Antonelli overtakes Tsunoda, and then Antonelli tries to overtake Alex Albon. Then Sainz is going to drop back, give Alex Albon some DRS, and then that'll go from there. And then they'll defend that way. Because, yeah, good teamwork, really, from the Williams team, and they're both up into the points as well, which is important. But the Racing Bulls teams will be outscoring them, of course. VCARB, we've got Isaak Hadjar up in 4th, and we've got Liam Lawson in 8th. Okay. Would love it if Lando pitted before Oscar on his own accord. Well, we'll see, but the thing is, 3 seconds is a little bit too much to close up on an undercut, because the thing is, this is also a very, very short lap. Say if you're at Spa when the lap is 7 kilometers long, you have a bigger opportunity to gain time and to undercut someone. But here in Zandvoort, the circuit is 4.3 kilometers long, 4.2 kilometers long. That's not that big of a distance to actually gain lap time on your fellow driver and for the undercut to work. So who knows? Oscar Piastri is managing his gap, and he knows that the undercut window is around about 1.5 seconds or so, 2 seconds at a max. So that's why he's keeping Lando Norris 3 seconds back. Drink some water. Yeah, I really do need to drink some water. My throat is actually quite hurting. All right, we are on lap number 19 of 72. So This is when the pit stop window for the medium tyre opens up. And also, I would have expected the soft tyre runners to pit, but none of them. The pit stop window, Pirelli said, was 13 to 19. No, none of the soft tyre runners have come into the pits. Alonso's come into the pits nice and early. And it looks like they're trying to go... I think Stroll might actually be trying to go to the end of the race. Because there's no other hope now, because there's contact with Behrman, and he started the race in dead last anyway, or 19th. I think he's genuinely trying for a one-stop race, pitting right on lap number 8, and Alonso might be doing the same, because his tyre doesn't seem so bad. Mal, thanks for the $2 donation. 2026 Red Bull lineup 3 and 4, not bad. Yeah, not too bad actually. They may change in 2026. They may keep Tsunoda, who knows. But Tsunoda, I'm sure, will be involved in the development of this car, so it would be a bit rude to sort of get him to develop the car and then kick him out. Oh, look, they're still coaching Lando Norris over the radio. Opportunity, turn 9, late entry speed. Turn 9, of course, that corner is just flowing directly into turn number 10, and you don't really need a good exit. You can get a load of entry speed in. Oh, the Red Bull mechanics are getting ready. They're all sort of jumping around. Seems like they weren't ready for Tsunoda to get into the pits, but he has, and there's still yet more raindrops, but it's still slick tyres, folks, and loads of drivers coming into the pits now. In fact, as I say, none of the drivers on the soft tyres have come into the pits. They all come into the pits on the exact same lap. This is just the commentator's curse in action, isn't it? All right, we've got Colapinto in the pits and Hulkenberg as well, but they all come out. Tsunoda, Colapinto, Hulkenberg in that order, and they're all on hard tyres, looking to go to the end of the race. Okay, no one wants to go from Red Bull to Racing Bulls. Well, you know, what would happen if Max went out onto... if Max was in the V-Carb, what would happen? They're talking about the rain. The McLaren engineers, they've got their hands stuck out the pit wall, looking at the feeling for the raindrops. They're looking on the ground, seeing how much rain has arrived. And, we can see even more rain. Ladies and gentlemen, the rain that was predicted to fall on lap number 10 has now arrived, most certainly, at lap number 20. And the drivers and the teams are considering it. The clouds are lowering onto Zandvoort. It's getting foggier. And, well, it looks like the heavens may just open up in the next couple of laps. Norris says, they ask Norris, can you get closer with the car ahead? And... Norris says not a touch. There's no way he can get closer. In fact, he's just dropped back. The 3.1 second gap is now up to 3.5. Piastri has done what he needed to do. He held that gap exactly where he needed it. And Norris is... has fell off the back. Stroll over the radio. Are people slowing down with the rain, man? ? I know, because it's taking a risk. Okay, understood. They're getting feedback from Fernando. So yeah, this is the thing there. They're figuring out whether drivers are slowing because of the snow or because of tyre wear or what's going on. But yeah, the rain is really getting a little bit more intense. You know, before it was very minor, now it's a lot more intense. So we'll wait and see how that goes. We've got 32,000 people watching the stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are all enjoying the coverage. Look forward to commentating to you guys for the Monza Grand Prix as well. We're going to have so many more overtakes in Monza with that huge straight. Well, that huge straight, there's multiple huge straights in Monza. And maybe we'll get a win with Ferrari. I mean, that's a little bit delusional, but, you know, all Ferrari fans are at the end of the day. So we shall see what happens. Snow. I didn't say... I never said snow, did I? Is there snow in Zandvoort? There's no way. It's summer. No, it's summer in the Northern Hemisphere. There's no way there's snow in Zandvoort. I'm sure there are some people just trolling in the chat. Or maybe I did say snow. I don't know. Anyway, lap number 22. This is the pit stop window for the medium tyres. So Pirelli said 22 to 28 is the pit stop window for the mediums. Now they said for the softs 13 to 19. So, and everyone pitted after lap number 19. So... I think the same's going to happen with the medium tyres. The drivers are just going to continue on. And Max is also on... did I say snow? Oh, okay, apologies. Guess I'm just in the flow of things and going a little bit crazy as well. I really do need to drink some water then. But anyway, Max is on a set of soft tyres, and somehow he's still managing those soft tyres. He's only 2 seconds ahead of Hadjar. So let's say Hadjar could do the funniest thing. In fact, V-Carb could do the funniest thing, or Toro Rosso, whatever you want to call them. They could come into the pits now. They could try and undercut Max Verstappen. It could just work, because you look at the lap times here. Tsunoda, fresh out of hard tyres, he's doing 1 minute 15.3. If Red Bull don't react immediately, Isaak Hadjar could be there. He could undercut the Red Bull team. Charles Leclerc with a pit stop. And nicely done there from the Ferrari crew. He makes his way out onto circuit on a set of hard tyres. It is raining. It is definitely raining. Oh, yellow flag, yellow flag. Oh, Hamilton, Hamilton. Oh, no. Hamilton has crashed. What has happened here? The safety car is out. Hamilton crashes on the exit of turn number 3. He crashed on the entry in FP1. He spun there on the exit of 3. Hamilton is out in the barriers. His front wing is broken. His front right suspension is broken. His rear right suspension is broken. Oh, no, no, no. What is happening here? Everyone's diving into the pits. Piastri's into the pits. Norris into the pits. Oh, this is going to make it a little boring, isn't it? They're going to do a two-stop. Are they going to nail the two-stop here for the McLarens? Piastri's into the pits. Should be okay. Yeah, but this is going to make it a little bit boring. All of the medium tyre runners are now just going to come out on a set of hards and, well, they're going to go to the end of the race. I hope that's not what happens. But... Oh, a bit of an issue there for Piastri's stop. Oh no, Norris has a 4.5 second stop there. Not ideal, but they get him out in the end, and it doesn't really matter. They're all behind the safety car anyway. Also, folks, the other thing, the safety car has been upgraded this weekend. We've got a new Aston Martin. I think it's the Aston Martin Vantage S, and it's got like a V8 something, and it's got 700 horsepower, so should be a little bit quicker. Hopefully the drivers complain a little bit less. Wait, the range is getting heavier and heavier. Verstappen's into the pits, Hadjar's into the pits, they're all into the pits now. Leclerc, how much time does he gain? Leclerc gets ahead of, Leclerc in fact loses out to Russell. The timing of the safety car caused by his teammate causes him to lose a position. You just can't make this up for Charles Leclerc, can you? The luck just gets worse and worse and worse for him. And he was ahead of George Russell previously. He pitted before the safety car came out, and he's now behind George Russell. Ferrari Masterclass at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, all the drivers now out on hard tyres except for Max. Max is out on mediums. What? We got a replay of here from Hamilton, and yeah, just I don't know what to say really. Just a pretty bad mistake, really. Lost the car, and then the barriers are so close. Into the barriers he went. There was not much he could do. What did he say over the radio? I'm sure he wasn't pleased. Oh no, they just asked, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm so sorry, guys." Okay. Here we are then, lap 24. Fernando Alonso just asks over the radio, which lap are we? And yeah, they say lap 24. Oh, yeah, we've got a replay here of Lando Norris, and I think it was the rear, they didn't get the front jack out quickly enough, so that's what happened to him, but in the end, doesn't matter. Piastri's behind the safety car, so's Norris, and Hamilton's already on the way back to the pits. He's got the media surrounding him. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our first retirement of the race. Lewis Hamilton is out. Yeah, unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate indeed. Okay. Here we go then. Oh, what they're saying over the radio to Piastri is saying the white line is very slippery. Okay, so the white line at turn number 3, that's what caused Hamilton to have the issue. And they're basically just telling Piastri, stay off the white line. Stay off all of the white lines now. As the rain gets heavier, the white lines get slipperier and slipperier. And yeah, Hamilton, uncharacteristically getting caught out by changing conditions, you know? Okay, also, Max is the only driver out on the medium tyres, and he's going to be now trying to get ahead of Lando Norris, get ahead of Oscar Piastri on a fresh set of mediums. The hards are around half a second, 6/10 of a second slower than the mediums, so we could see Verstappen get close. It really depends on the safety car restart. If Norris is a bad one, Verstappen has a good one, we could see, but... everyone has come into the pits apart from Ocon and Behrman. They started the race on the hards, so they're going to have to wait a little bit longer to come into the pits. Okay. Lance Stroll, the GOAT, clearly. Yeah, I mean, P19 to P12. So he's gained the most places. Stroll's gained a bunch, so has Behrman. But of course, Behrman and Ocon are yet to pit. Hamilton retirement incoming. Yeah, well, I don't know. If things just carry on going from bad to worse from Hamilton. This weekend was looking better. He was on par with Charles Leclerc, wasn't too far behind him. And then these mistakes keep creeping in. The performance is just not there where it used to be. I'm sure he'll take the money from Ferrari, the 100 million that he's getting for his 2-year contract or whatever. But what's the sort of motivation to continue racing? I don't know. Like, even with Kimi Raikkonen, let's say, Kimi Raikkonen wasn't fighting. He was never at the top of his game when he was at Ferrari in the later years, but he still enjoyed racing. He still was pushing himself, and he wasn't making frequent mistakes and stuff like that. So, yes, he continued on towards Alfa Romeo. But with Hamilton, especially for a driver like Hamilton, who all he has pretty much known in Formula One is just winning, especially for the last couple of years. Well, not last few years, but, you know what I mean. So I don't really know. Maybe he'll continue, maybe he won't. Anyway, folks, what I'm going to say, safety car is in this lap, ladies and gentlemen. Safety car in this lap. Here we go. The green light is going to be starting, and yeah, the radio messages coming through like crazy. They're getting the recharge buttons. They're switching off the recharge buttons. They're turning on the overtake buttons, and they're getting ready to get going. Max is asking, what's the rain doing? And yeah, the safety car restart. Piastri's going to be very careful on his brakes. In Silverstone, he got a penalty for braking too hard under the safety car. I'm sure he's going to be a lot more cautious this time around. But it is potentially prime opportunity to go at turn number 11 or 12. If he should have backed up the field a little bit earlier, actually, if he was going to do that. But currently, there's a huge concertina effect happening at turn 11 and 12, and the safety car is pulling away, and then Piastri is getting ready to go racing. The safety car is in this lap, ladies and gentlemen. It is in this lap. Focus on the restart. Turn your engines up to maximum power. Here goes Oscar Piastri. The safety car makes his way into the pits. Piastri through turn number 13 and 14, pushing ever so hard. All right, we've got 30,000 people watching. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And here goes Oscar Piastri down in towards turn number 1. Verstappen is all over the back of Lando Norris. What can he do? Piastri gets a good launch. Norris, pretty good launch as well, but by the looks of it, everyone stays in single file apart from one overtake. Alex Albon gets ahead, and Sainz loses 2 positions, and Sainz loses yet more positions. I don't know if that's a GPS glitch or Sainz has genuinely had some problems. No, it looks like Sainz has genuinely had some problems on the restart. He was next to his teammate. What's gone on there? Sainz is right at the back of the pack. Not ideal. Yes, Sainz going super slowly. I think that's a puncture for Sainz. Sainz and Lawson, issues for them. Surely that's yellow flags deployed. Come on, boys. If you're not going to make it, if you're going to continue on the race, drive back to the pits. If you're not going to make it, could you park up right in the middle of the circuit, bring out the safety car again? That'd be good. But we haven't got any DRS as of right now, folks. So Max is within DRS range, and so is Norris, but no DRS has been activated. It will get activated after 2 laps time, or after 1 lap after they come across the line now. Tsunoda gets ahead of Alonso. Very nicely done. Good overtake there from Yuki Tsunoda. And Sainz and Lawson both crawling back. Both have got punctures by the looks of it, and DRS has been enabled, folks. Fastest lap of the race there for Piastri. He is pushing like crazy. He's already broken the DRS. Max Verstappen now, he's on the medium tyres. He's got to go like hell. If you've watched Ford versus Ferrari, it's time for 7,000 RPM plus, attack like crazy, because it's now or never for Max Verstappen. It doesn't look like we're going to have too many more pit stops. I don't know how Max is going to make it to the end of the race on a set of medium tyres, because Pirelli said you could do 28 laps max, and Max is now doing 45, so I don't know what's going on there. Wait, is the rain just got super heavy, or is there a bunch of dust at that part of the circuit? I'm not sure, but Sainz and Lawson both make it back to the pits, crawling about at a snail's pace. No, it's not raining, there's just a bunch of dust at that part of the circuit. And yeah, that gap, unfortunately, 1.7 seconds. Russell now is trying to attack Hadjar. Russell was sat there behind Leclerc while Leclerc was trying to overtake Hadjar. Now the roles have been reversed. Russell is now attacking Hadjar. We'll see what he can do. I think Russell has ever so slightly more top speed than Charles Leclerc did, so that might help him out. Liam Lawson comes out of the pits. He's about to get lapped by his fellow. Well, he's not. By an Australian. I was going to say his fellow Australian, but Liam Lawson is from New Zealand. But yeah, it's causing a bit of a moving chicane here as Liam Lawson. And same thing for Carlos Sainz. They've both been lapped. They've both just come out of the pits. And Norris is now getting held up by Lawson. So it's now Max's time to go. And try to get ahead, or try to close that gap up. Hadjar now within DRS of Max Verstappen. I don't know what Helmut Marko is going to be saying. Folks, what do you think Helmut Marko will send a text message to Hadjar if Hadjar overtakes Max Verstappen on the track right now? What do you think is going to happen? Oh my god, it's so stupid. It's always this guy. Yeah, Sainz is not happy with Liam Lawson, but they're both out. Well, they're not both out. They're just both dead last. So, yeah. And they've gone for a set of softs, which I don't really understand. So Liam Lawson rear left puncture, Carlos Sainz front right puncture. Liam turned in, apparently at least. All right, Oscar Piastri emulating Prime Rosberg. I mean, yeah, he's just pulling away at a rate of knots, really. That gap up to 2 seconds. We've had 3 laps after the safety cars come in. Yeah, Max has really not got the pace, and Isaak Hadjar is genuinely closing up, and he's going to use Max as a defensive tool now. He's basically going to use Max's DRS as a way to defend against George Russell because he has no other alternative. Yeah. Stroll's up in 9th as well. Yeah, Stroll has gained 10 positions. Pretty nice timing, really. He came into the pit super early, undercut everyone because he pitted like 20 laps before everyone else came into the pits, and that's worked out for him pretty nicely. P9 undercut worked. Indeed it did. Indeed it did. But the thing is now he's got to manage those tyres right to the end of the race, which is going to be a tough one. He's being helped out ever so slightly, though. Track temperature down to 26 degrees, and of course the drops of rain here and there will also help. Yeah, we've got 32,000 people watching the stream. Folks, if you haven't hit the like button and you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. Really goes a long way to helping out the channel. And if you haven't also... yeah, I'm going to do a face reveal once we hit 200k. So if we hit 100, yeah, we're on 190k, as you can see there at the bottom left. So if you could hit 191, we're 49 subscribers away. That would be very, very cool. Yeah, here we go then, folks. We have got a battle brewing between Isaak Hadjar and Max Verstappen. That is not something that I expected to say at the start of this season, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. And also, the top 6 are staying in the exact same position that they started the race in. Interesting. Okay. Hadjar purple sector. Yeah, no, he's genuinely pushing so hard because he's got to stay ahead of George Russell. That's the thing. I think he knows that Russell's got ever so slightly more top speed than Leclerc does. And Leclerc's helping him out a little bit because Leclerc is pushing Russell through all of these corners very, very hard. F1 Gaming, can you say why Behrman started in the pits? Behrman started in the pits. He just wanted a setup change because he wasn't particularly happy with the setup yesterday. Oh, VSC deployed. What's that for? VSC deployed to neutralize the race. I mean, maybe there's some debris on the circuit, but the debris will have been from at least 3-4 laps ago. So it's a little strange that they've deployed the VSC now. Yeah, I am a little bit unsure about what the VSC... Oh, there's one piece of carbon fibre on the racing line, I think, or on the runoff area, and that's why they've deployed the VSC. So once all the cars move around to... Yeah, it's actually down the main straight. It's pretty dangerous, actually. Yeah, so if someone was going for an overtake, they drive over this piece of debris, get a huge puncture, and take out both drivers. So that's why the VSC is out. So once Hulkenberg passes along the start-finish straight, they'll get a track marshal to go out onto the circuit. They'll pick up that piece of debris, and then we'll get going. All right, they've come over the radio to Norris saying the goal should be to get to the end of the race on this set of tyre. So he's got to make the overtake on track, if that's his plan at least. Yeah. Oh, Sonoda's come over the radio saying Behrman brake tested me, it's dangerous. So we'll see if Behrman gets a penalty or if he goes under investigation. But the VSC is ending, the track marshal has picked it up and has jumped over the side of the railing. Nicely done. Track clear, DRS enabled, and we are racing once again, ladies and gents. Here we go then. Oh no. The VSC has been timed a little bit, unfortunately, for Isaak Hadjar. That gap that he had to Max Verstappen, it was under a second. Now it's over 1 second because of the timing of the VSC and depending on where he was in the corners. Leclerc gets ahead of Russell. What a move from Charles Leclerc. So late on the brakes. And Round the outside he went. Incredible. Incredible. And now that's given Hadjar some breathing room. Hadjar has been given some breathing. Here comes George Russell. Can he re-overtake Charles Leclerc? To the inside goes Leclerc. To the outside goes Russell. What can he do? Leclerc, great defensive maneuver so far, and he just hangs on by the finest of margins. Really, really good job there from Leclerc, putting his car exactly where he needed to go. Russell tried the undercut, but nothing can be done against that. Ferrari made it particularly wide, didn't he? What happened to Sainz and Lawson? Sainz and Lawson both had contact and punctures and went to the end of the race, and pitted and went last. All right, though, Leclerc's up into 5th, and the positions have been reversed. Russell got a free pit stop under the safety car, but Leclerc has taken that position back. Very nice. Okay, also, it's good to see this. Good to see this green circle here. This green circle indicates that Max Verstappen is closing the gap up to Lando Norris, which is always a good sign. So, yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled, but hopefully that continues on, and we'll get a battle between Norris and Verstappen. Alright, Hamilton crashed. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what... Oh, a 10-second time penalty for Sainz for causing a collision, actually. So, yeah, it wasn't Liam Lawson. Sainz was complaining over the radio saying, oh, it's Lawson's fault, this, that, and that. But Sainz has just been given a 10-second penalty for causing a collision. I have not seen the replay, so I'm not going to comment on that. I wish they showed me the replay, but maybe I missed it or something. But, yeah. Sainz, 10-second penalty. Alright, Leclerc now still on the back of Isaak Hadjar. He's closed that gap right up, and in fact, he's dropped George Russell. Russell has fell out of DRS, and Leclerc now, he's chasing down Isaak Hadjar. Maybe on the hard tyres, the Ferrari's got a little bit more pace. Leclerc was pretty aggressive, I've got to say, around turn number 12, barging his way around, but Russell left the car's width. Leclerc took the car's width, and yeah. Alright, we got, who's that? Kimi Antonelli got ahead of Alex Albon, so Antonelli up into 7th and Albon down into 8th. And, yeah, let's see, Leclerc is going to be doing his best. Now, here he comes out of turn number 13. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, Isaak Hadjar's got the Honda power, Leclerc's got the prancing horse behind him. What's going to happen into turn number 1? Leclerc gains and gains and gains, but he's a bit too far back to get an overtake done. Into 1 on this occasion, maybe next lap. What's happening to the smooth operator? I mean, I think Sainz and Lawson will probably retire in the next couple of laps if nothing happens. Another double yellow flag at track sector 16. Looks like there's some more debris or some gravel or something that has been kicked up by the incident between Leclerc and Russell, and that's what's caused that yellow flag there. So we'll see. But they've cleared that up. Okay. No issues. Very nice. We've got 38 laps left to go, folks. 38 laps left to go. Let's see what happens here. Also, be sure to hit the like button, folks. Hopefully, we can make our way towards 4,000 likes. We've just hit 191k, which is fantastic. Maybe we can make our way towards 192. Yeah, we'll either hit 200k at the Monza Grand Prix or maybe in Baku. I mean, to be fair, we hit 100k at Baku, so if we hit 200k at Baku, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, currently on the track, we got Charles Leclerc yet again. He's now within 0.8 of Isaak Hadjar. Hadjar, though, is now slightly closer to Max Verstappen. In fact, Hadjar is genuinely gaining on Max, and I don't know why this green circle is still here, because Max has just dropped half a second on the previous lap to Norris. So Hadjar's closing up, and Verstappen not so much. So even on the previous lap here, Hadjar goes a 10th quicker than Max Verstappen. So this 1.1 second gap, maybe next lap it goes to 1. Maybe we get Isaak Hadjar on the podium. When is the rain? The rain has arrived and left already, unfortunately. Alright, Norris they've come over the radio to Norris saying, with the field spread, it's unlikely there'll be opportunities. Our best bet is just to go out there and get him. So Lando Norris has been instructed over the radio. It is time to attack. The gap is hovering at 1.6 seconds, which is closer than what it was previously because of the virtual safety car and the safety car and things. Previously, it was 3.1. Now it is, now what is it? It's 1.6, isn't it? So Norris having a good opportunity there now to close up to the back of Piastri. One mistake from Piastri and Norris will catch up, but Piastri, does he make mistakes? Who knows? Hadjar is within DRS, ladies and gents. It's happening. It's genuinely happening. Here comes Max Verstappen. Here comes Isaak Hadjar. We'll have an eye out on their top speeds. Who's going quicker down the straights? But Verstappen with no DRS. There's no sort of contest there. The gap was 9/10 of a second at the start. It is now down to 6/10 of a second at the end of the straight. Oh my goodness me. Is this going to happen? You know, Verstappen is also on the medium tyres, which are wearing out quicker than the hard tyres that Hadjar is on. Oh, also, ladies and gents, Hadjar, sorry, not Hadjar, Verstappen is on the mediums. That means he's going to have to pit again, which means when Verstappen comes into the pits, Isaak Hadjar's going to get promoted up into third position. I don't think it's that big of an if. I think it's quite likely that Verstappen's going to pit. Pirelli say you can only do 28 laps on the mediums. Verstappen is going to have to do 49, which is a little bit outlandish, if I'm going to be honest. So, is Hadjar going to get a podium this weekend? Is Charles Leclerc going to snatch it away from him? Is Max going to do a one-stop? Well, we'll find out. We shall find out, shan't we? Okay. The turn 12 incident between Leclerc and Russell has been noted. It's under investigation for causing a collision. Oh, come on. The FIA, if you give a penalty for Charles Leclerc here, you know, that was hard, fair racing. Russell left a gap. Leclerc took the gap. Like, yes, you know, it was a little bit argy-bargy, but you really can't give him a penalty for that, surely, because otherwise you're just ruining racing at that point. And talking about ruining racing, Hadjar and Leclerc have both dropped out of DRS, and now the gaps are 1.1 second. Not ideal. Alonso has been asked over the radio, how is the balance on the hard tyre? I don't effing know. You always put me in traffic. I don't know. Great to see Alonso, you know, always very positive over the radio, isn't he? Fernando Alonso. He's obviously not very happy because he was in 10th position at quali and somehow he's been dropped down into 13th. Of course, partially due to the safety car, which hasn't helped him out, but stuck behind Tsunoda. Any chance for Lando? Well, you know, that gap is hovering there at 1.5. It's sat there at 1.5. So the thing that Lando's got to do, he's either got to force a mistake, he's got to look, you know, make himself very present in Piastri's mirrors, make him make a mistake, or he's just got to go outright qualifying mode, you know, turn it up into, I think Strat 7 is the attack mode. Oh no, I think it's Strat 5 or something for the Mercedes power units is to go for the attack. I'm not sure. Alonso's just come over the radio saying, let's go for the undercut. And I don't think the team are particularly listening to him, which is interesting that you're not listening to someone with 20 years of F1 experience. But again, Fernando doesn't have all of the information out there. Max is not gaining. Yeah, I don't know why. I think this must be glitched then. This green circle at least must be glitched. But Antonelli is gaining on Russell, so I'm not really sure. I don't know why it's there for Max. Alonso's mad, yeah. I mean, Alonso, normally when Alonso's out the points, it happens, doesn't it? He gets pretty mad. Alright, Bortoletto getting quite happy about that turn number 11 there, in fact. Unfortunately, he's down in 16th position, though. Yeah. Alright, Leclerc has got DRS on Hadjar, and Verstappen has also dropped Hadjar a little bit. He's picked up the pace, realising I'm not about to get overtaken by the sister team, because that's definitely number 2 driver things. You know, getting overtaken by a racing bull is most certainly what a number 2 driver will do, what Tsunoda has done, and Verstappen is not about to let that happen. But he is going to go into the pits at some point, so who knows. But, you know, folks, you've got to stick along to see, is Hadjar going to get that podium? And honestly, if you ask me my driver of the day, I've got to give it to Isaak Hadjar. You know, a lot of these drivers have gained a lot of positions. See, Alex Albon's race start was a definite highlight for the race, but a lot of these drivers that have gone up a few places have mainly been due to the safety car and a little bit of luck and stuff like that. So, yeah, Isaak Hadjar, most certainly my driver of the day. Who is your driver of the day? I definitely hope not to see any Lewis driver of the day messages. Yeah. Considering that he's crashed out of the race. Okay, Fernando Alonso trying a few different lines here to get ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, but nothing is happening. Nothing is working against Tsunoda. He's putting his car in the correct place, and Alonso can try all as he wants. But Tsunoda's got DRS on Behrman, and that's his saving grace. Stroll, yeah. I mean, if he makes it to the end of the race on those tyres, he might actually deserve driver of the day. 62 laps, 60-something laps on a set of hard tyres is kind of mind-blowing. All right. Yeah, Verstappen now 4 seconds off the back of Norris. Norris, however, that gap down to 1.4, 1.3, maybe. So he is attacking, but I'm sure Piastri also knows this. And every single message that we can't see that coming over the transcripts is saying Norris 1.2, Norris 1.4, Norris 1.5, all of these stuff. To keep him up to date. And in fact, it's just gone down to 1.2. Piastri has got to be looking in his mirrors now because Lando Norris is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. Lando Norris is fast approaching. Are we going to get a collision between the two? That's what I predicted in the pre-race show. I predicted that we're going to get some contact. Alonso comes into the pits. He does an undercut. He thinks that everyone's going to do a two-stop, so he's out on the hard tyres, doing what Stroll did in the first stint, and he's going to try and pull it off now. That he is currently out in 17th position. He's not last, but that's only because Sainz and Lawson are just so slow and so far back. Right. Yeah, here we go then. Oh, fastest lap of the race there from Lando Norris. He goes 1/10 of a second quicker than Piastri on the previous lap. It's not blisteringly quicker than Piastri, but Piastri has currently got a 9-point lead on the championship. 9 points is how much Piastri is ahead of Norris. And, if it stays this way, that's going to go up to 16. If Norris gets ahead, that's going to go down to 2. All right. Oh, they've swapped around the drivers. Wait, what? They've swapped the drivers at Mercedes. Antonelli ahead of Russell. That is interesting. I mean, maybe they'll swap them around later on. But, yeah, they're both on the same strategy. So, interesting that they're swapping both of them around. Fernando Alonso is pushing like crazy on these hard tyres. He's just gone purple in the second and the third sector, even without DRS and a slipstream, which is just showing you how hard he's pushing there. So really nice job there from Alonso. Oh, Russell has damage. Okay. There we go. Oh, damage between Leclerc and Russell. Wait, will be investigated after the race. What? The stewards are saying they're going to investigate it after the race. So after the race, they could decide, oh yeah, we didn't like that overtake, so Leclerc, 5-second penalty, please. Like, that is the most stupid thing that the FIA could do. Because, like, why don't you just decide it now? You have all of the telemetry, you have all of the data. Oh my God. Right, I'm not going to crash out about the FIA. But yes, Russell has got damage. It makes sense why they swapped around, and Antonelli is now going to try and chase down Charles Leclerc. And Alonso is flying. Alonso is flying indeed. That gap up at the front, 1.2 seconds. Max Verstappen is 6 seconds back. It's pretty much a role reversal compared to what happened in 2023, where Verstappen would drive off into the distance. Yeah, that's what the McLarens are doing. They are just getting further and further and further ahead. Okay. Yeah, let's see what else is going on in this race. Just a big old DRS train. Choo-choo. Esteban Ocon, Oliver Behrman, Tsunoda, Gasly, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, and then Alonso. Alonso is, of course, in 17th position, but he has got a fastest lap of the race to his name, which is good to see. But yes, a big DRS train from 11th to 16th or 17th or 15th. Is the map correct or no? Are the Williams together? The map is correct, but Carlos Sainz has been lapped. So that's why the map is correct. It's just that Sainz is 1 lap behind Alex Albon. But they're still driving together because in reality, the cars have got a very similar pace. Yeah, that is about it, really. Is the track wet? No, it is not, folks. The track, unfortunately, is not that wet. I would love for it to rain, but... Yeah. Oh, they've got all of those wind turbines, offshore in the Netherlands, like sort of like a couple of kilometers away from their coastline. Why don't they turn all the wind turbines so they blow the rain clouds onto the circuit?
See, honestly, I'm thinking outside of the box here. Nobody has ever thought of that before, and the reason they haven't thought of that is because it's purely stupid. But I'm getting a little bored here with not too much action going on in the race because Lando Norris is just not closing that gap up. Come on, Lando. You're saying identical lap times. It's like Piastri gets told over the radio what Norris's first sector time is on the previous lap, and he just tries to match it exactly. Because on the previous lap there was 40, 50 milliseconds in between the two drivers. So yeah, 50 milliseconds, and these drivers are pushing like crazy. 21 laps worth of tyre between the two drivers, and they're saying identical lap times. Piastri on this previous occasion actually 2/10 slower. 2/10 slower. What happened to Hamilton? He crashed, ladies and gentlemen. Lewis Hamilton crashed. It was raining a little bit. The painted white line was a little bit slippery. Hamilton touched the painted white line, was out of the race. It's as simple as that. Bro's designing like it's Mario Kart. Well, yeah, I am. There's no other way to describe it. F1 Gamer, is there any other way for Lando to kind of overtake? Well, the McLaren engineers came over the radio a couple of laps ago saying there's not much we can do apart from overtake him on the circuit. It's unlikely with how spread out the field is that we're going to get a safety car or something to get ahead of him and maybe pull off a two-stop strategy. So it's now or never. You got to attack. And Norris, is admittedly staying very, very close to Piastri. 1.1 seconds is the gap now. It's really tightened it up. A little bit of a bad exit through 12 has cost him a 10th, but he's closing up slowly but surely. And there's still 28 laps left of this race here, folks. I'm saying it's a little boring, but the leaders are within 1 second, 1.2 seconds of each other with 27 laps left to go. Nobody's going to pit. It's just an outright 1 versus 1 race. So we will get a battle, maybe just not on this lap. Alonso quickest lap. Yeah, Alonso is pushing pretty hard, actually. He is, in fact, the third fastest driver on the circuit. He behind the two McLarens. The McLarens are on 20-lap-old hard tyres. Alonso's on 4-lap-old hard tyres. Still, the McLarens are quicker. But Alonso is the third fastest driver on the circuit right now with his fresh set of tyres. Ocon and Behrman still yet to pit as well. They're in 10th and 11th. They're on 44-lap-old hard tyres. We'll see how they manage, but 27 laps after this race. So now's about the time that they can pit and come into and go to the end of the race on mediums. Sartek, thanks for the donation. Who do you think will win? That's a tough one, isn't it? Who is it going to be? Well, it's going to be Piastri or Norris, isn't it? I think that it is going to be Piastri, and the only reason I think it's going to be Piastri is because Norris will try to make an overtake, and there will be contact, and the contact will result in Piastri having a quicker car. There'll be some sort of side pod damage or floor damage. That's what I think. Can Alonso score points? Well, I don't really know. He has got much, much quicker. Like, genuinely, look at the lap time difference here, right? Hulkenberg a 1:16.3, Fernando Alonso 1:14.5, so that's nearly 2 seconds quicker as Fernando Alonso on the previous lap. So he's got 26 laps remaining of this race here to catch up to all of these other drivers up in the points. And let's see, they're all in a big old DRS train. So if Alonso has enough pace to get ahead of Hulkenberg and Bortoleto and Colapinto, then he has enough pace to overtake in a DRS train, which means he has enough pace to get up into the points. Wait, Sainz has just come over the radio saying, "Are you joking? It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my life." I don't know what he's talking about, but clearly not very happy. All right, how is Stroll in ninth? Stroll is in ninth because he did a really good undercut and was in clean air for a lot of time, and everyone else was in dirty air. Stroll was just pushing, and he's got the quickest speed through the speed traps as well, 337 kilometers per hour for Lance Stroll, and just pushing nice and hard, and the safety car helped him out. Actually, the safety car didn't help him out. He just had a really good undercut. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, up at the front, it's still 1.2. It's in fact just jumped up to 1.4. I think Norris had a mistake going into turn number 1. Championship predicting standings. I mean, I think the top standings are the only things that matters. Piastri will be 16 points ahead if it stays like this. If Norris overtakes, it'll be 2 points. I'll get up the championship standings later on. Yeah. Okay, Antonelli's closed up a little bit to Charles Leclerc, actually, I've got to say. He's done quite a decent job, because I think the gap was 4.5 seconds, now it's down to 2.5, so we'll see what Antonelli can do, how close he can get to Charles Leclerc. But Leclerc holding a pretty good race there. And the question is Max Verstappen going to pit, ladies and gentlemen? Is he going to pit? We've still got 25 laps left of this race, so those medium tyres are going to struggle, but yeah, I haven't sort of heard him complaining over the radio or anything like that, saying, oh, my tyres are terrible. So maybe he could go to the end of the race. That might work for him. That might be a strategy choice that will work. But who knows? Alrighty then. Also, folks, be sure to subscribe. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this, actually. I probably should, since they've sponsored the stream. If you guys do want to watch Formula 1 for only $2 a month, what you can do, you can get Surfshark VPN, then connect to a Swiss VPN server, and then search SRF on Google, and you can watch Formula 1. And the only thing you have to pay for is Surfshark VPN. SRF is free, as long as you've got a Swiss VPN. So, yeah, there's a link in the description to Surfshark VPN. Check that out. And that's what I'm using to watch the stream right now. To watch the race right now. The commentary is in German, so you just mute that and listen to me instead, but you get to watch the cars go around, which is fantastic. What happened to Hamilton? He crashed. Right, I'm going to put that up on the screen. We've got loads of messages over the radio, over the chat, about what happened to Hamilton. All right, there we go. Hamilton crashed at turn 3. That should be okay. Maybe I should make it a little bigger, but how did Hamilton crash? He touched a painted white line when it was raining, and his car lost grip, and he crashed out. Yeah. Do you ship to India? The merch, unfortunately, is not shipping to India. Yeah, if anyone's interested in the merch, I guess I could quickly show that as well. I'll make it a little smaller so it doesn't cover the entire screen, but it's got a bunch of different designs, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It's 100% cotton, all the t-shirts. I'm wearing them right now, so if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. The link's in the description. It's slipstream.clothing. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't ship to India because there's some problem with some import taxes or something like that. Yeah. All right, then. What else have we got going on? Oh, no, Lando Norris. 1.7 seconds is the gap. He's dropped a little bit far back. I mean, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe he's warming up his tyres. Cooling down his tyres and charging up his battery to go racing. But, oh, no, it's down to 1.3 again, down to 1.2. Okay, so I don't know what's going on there. But, we'll see. Do you ship to Saudi? I think so. I mean, folks, just check out the delivery options. It will, if your country is there in the delivery options, I ship there. If not, then I don't. Yeah. I haven't got all of the drivers done yet, but I will have them done pretty soon. I corrected the spelling for Nico Hulkenberg as well, so if any of you German fans are interested, go and check that out. And yeah, that is. I think that's all it really. Back to the race. Big old DRS train. Honestly, huge DRS train behind Esteban Ocon. And he must be wondering, why there's no one ahead of him. And it's a very pleasant day in Zandvoort, but that's because everyone's behind him, to be honest. No El Padre shirts. Oh, they'll be coming up. They'll be coming up. I'll get them all made. El Plan, El Padre. Do I ship to Mars? Yeah. I ship to Mars, of course. I've been there myself, actually. I'll hand deliver the parcels to Mars. All right. Yeah, 22 laps left of this race. Is Max going to pit? All right, we need a yes or no here, folks, in the chat. Do you think Max Verstappen is going to pit? And as a result, do you think Isaak Hadjar is going to get a podium? We have got 22 laps after this race. Max has done 27 laps on his medium tyres. Pirelli say you can only do 27 or 28. I think we've got a good mix here, actually. Some people saying yes, some people saying no. It's about a 50-50. Fernando Alonso gets ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Very nice job there. So he has got the pace to overtaking a DRS train. If Alonso has got the pace to overtaking a DRS train, then he could find himself up in the points. Ocon and Behrman are still yet to pit. And, Alonso's going to be slicing and dicing his way through the field now. He'll be getting ahead of Bortoleto probably on the next lap. Let's see, what is... we'll keep our eyes peeled on the radio messages as well if anything comes over. Yeah, they're saying over the radio, good stuff, Bortoleto ahead, 18 lap older tyres. So that's the thing. Fernando Alonso, huge tyre advantage. And we'll see what happens there. And up at the front, Piastri 1.3 seconds ahead. Piastri is genuinely the GOAT at managing this gap. Okay, maybe the GOAT's a little bit of an exaggeration, but he's managing this gap to perfection. Only, I think, on one occasion has Lando Norris dipped below 1.1 seconds. And now, in fact, this is that occasion. This is the second occasion that has just happened. And I've just done the commentator's curse again. I just said Piastri's really good at managing that gap. The gap is now 1.1 seconds, 1.02 seconds. This is getting close. Antonelli into the pits. He tries. He pushes really hard on those hard tyres to try and catch up to Leclerc. He can't do anything. He's now out on the softs to go to the end of the race. All right. Alonso ahead of Bortoletto. Nicely done. He's overtaken his rookie rival. Yeah. Very nice. Alrighty. MCG, very quick at deleting the messages. I was about to delete that one. But yeah, thanks to all the moderators as well. Can we get a big shout out to the moderators, folks? They do a great job at moderating the chat. Yeah. Do you ship to Denmark? Indeed, I do. I ship to most countries in the world, folks. Most countries in the world. So yeah, if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. 30,000 people watching the stream though, that is incredible, and really, really big thank you to the moderators who make the channel what it is, really. Alright, Charles Leclerc has been told over the radio it's a box. Looks like he's going out on the softs as well. Is Isaak Hadjar going to continue on to the end then? If Max is coming into the pits, Isaak Hadjar has a shot at the podium. Surely you just stick it out there, don't you? Antonelli purple in the final sector on a fresh set of soft tyres. Yeah, pushing like crazy. Leclerc comes out ahead of him. Antonelli was trying to undercut Leclerc. Ferrari didn't let it happen. Good strategy choice there. 2.1 second pit stop, and he comes out ahead of Antonelli barely. Wait, what? Leclerc stopped. Leclerc, did he just crash at the exact same point? No. Oh my god. Ferrari, no, you didn't. That was Antonelli's fault, I think. He hit his rear tyre, but they've just crashed at the exact same spot. Ferrari. Also, Antonelli should be getting a penalty for that one, I think, because Leclerc left him space. The mechanics are also a bit disappointed. The entire front nose cone has just come off for Charles Leclerc. There's no way he's taking part in this race again. He is going to be furious. And both McLarens into the pits. Verstappen's just been bailed out, folks. Hadjar was about to get a podium because Verstappen would have had to come into the pits, and lo and behold, what happens? Verstappen and Hadjar both into the pits at the same time. It's a slow stop for Piastri. It's even slower for Lando Norris. Oh my god, does Verstappen get out ahead? No, he doesn't. Okay, the gap was it was a 4.8 second stop for Norris. That is terrible. They need to practice their double stacks. It's a quick stop for Verstappen, and it's a quick one for Hadjar as well. And oh my god. Double DNF for Ferrari. Wait, where's the meme? I've got it somewhere here. Next meme. Where is it? Oh no, I'm pressing the wrong button. There we go, folks. This is it. The Ferrari. Where am I going to put this? I mean, everyone's seen it before. They were back in Hungary, and they've just cooked it. They have just Ferrari things, ladies and gentlemen. Just Ferrari things. Wait. What's just happened here? Not Leclerc. Piastri and Norris are on hard tyres, ladies and gentlemen. They're on hards. Max is on soft tyres. This is the reverse of what happened in Spain. Max was on the hards at that point. This was a terrible choice for a safety car restart. Max is on the softs. Will the Flying Dutchman be able to get ahead of the McLarens? Is it over for the McLarens? Is the Flying Dutchman going to come through? The soft tyres are a full second faster. 1 full second, ladies and gentlemen, compared to the hards. Leclerc, I think that was unnecessary. I mean, we can never know what happened, but the tyres feel good anyway. The tyres feel good. I'm getting out. Leclerc says the pit stop was unnecessary. And then, of course, the collision with Antonelli. Very, very unfortunate. He did leave space for Antonelli, but Antonelli was just going in way, way too hot. We'll see if he gets a penalty. He should be getting a penalty. But that hasn't been under investigation just yet. Oh, What's going to happen here then, folks? Genuinely, I don't know, because the hard tyres, track temperature again hit 29 degrees Celsius. Oh, Antonelli also has a puncture. Well, I guess that's a penalty in of itself. Antonelli's got a puncture and he's driving back to the pits with a puncture. So I guess he doesn't need a penalty because he's going to come into the pits and then come out in dead last. Oh no, he's still in 7th, isn't he? Yeah, he's in 7th. We've just got a replay now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with Antonelli. I swear, if Antonelli came over the radio and said he just turned into me, I mean, that's... I don't think he did say that, but we haven't got any radio message from Antonelli. There's quite a bit of debris actually there on the exit, so it's going to take a while to clear this up. But... all right, here we go then, folks. We have got a race on our hands. Piastri versus Norris versus Verstappen. Verstappen is going to have the quicker car because he's on those soft tyres. You know, the Red Bull may not be quick. The soft tyres are, though. And those hard tyres, not so good. We've seen it happen before. You know, drivers make mistakes on safety car restarts because they're on the hard tyres. They're not warmed up properly. So, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Oh, I predicted this correctly as well. I said there'd be 2 safety cars. Here we are. The other thing I predicted was that there was going to be contact between the 2 McLarens. There is still opportunity. It's a double DNF for Ferrari. Yes, it's just terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible luck for them. And I mean, it's sort of their own fault, sort of not. I don't really know, but yeah. Folks, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, really is appreciated. Hopefully you can make our way towards 192k subs today. Yeah, that would be fantastic. If we could hit 192k, we're what, 600 subscribers away or so. That'd be mega. And then of course I'll be doing a face reveal at 200k, where you can see my, you know, reactions, dramatic reactions to all of these crashes, and not just hear my voice as well. So that'd be pretty cool. But that's about it. Matt from the P1 podcast will be mad right now. Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure every Ferrari fan is down in the dumps. I mean, they probably switched off the TV by now. But you've got to watch. You've got to stay on watching to see if Isaak Hadjar is going to store a podium. If Max Verstappen's going to get at both McLarens, this could be a very, very big strategy blunder here. And Alonso and Stroll have swapped positions. Yeah, Alonso, he pitted early, did the undercut. He did exactly what Stroll did in the first stint. And yeah, we have got Alonso up into 9th position. All right. They're under investigation, causing a collision, Antonelli versus Leclerc. I mean, Antonelli's in 7th position, and yeah, he's been given a 10-second time penalty, ladies and gentlemen. Lawson coming over the radio saying, double yellow, I couldn't see him. You saved me there, man. So I didn't know what's going on there, but clearly Lawson just being saved by his engineer telling him to slow down. Lapped cars allowed to overtake. Okay, that's good news then. So Lawson and Sainz, they're allowed to overtake, and they'll be catching back up to the pack. Oh. Okay. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. I'll be back in just a second, folks. 17 laps of racing here. We're going from the safety car. It's going to be Piastri versus Norris versus Verstappen, and a charging Verstappen to that on a fresh set of soft tyres. This is good news, folks. Good news. All right. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Antonelli with a 10-second penalty. That's going to lose him a lot of places because behind the safety car, everyone's going to be bunched up. So we shall see how that goes for him and how many places he loses. But it's going to be difficult to stay within the points, I think. Antonelli should have got a disqualification, low-key. I don't think so. I think that's a bit harsh. Like, he did make a mistake, went in too hot to the corner. He got given a fair penalty, I think, 10 seconds. And by the fact that it's a safety car, he's going to lose a lot of places due to it. So, disqualification's a bit harsh, you know. All right. What happened to Hamilton? He touched the white line and spun out at turn number 3. Leclerc got crashed into by Antonelli and then got took out by turn number 3. All right, folks, this is it. Safety car is in this lap once again. Here we go. We are about to get underway for some racing. What did Leclerc say after the crash? Leclerc said that that they shouldn't have come into the pits regardless, and Antonelli was just being a bit unnecessary with his move. All right, Piastri's backing up the pack. He's backing them up early, I think, a little bit earlier to what he did previously. And maybe he's going to try a different place to go, because on the previous time, under the previous safety car, he decided to go at turn number 13, and this time, it looks like he's doing the same thing. He's going to wait at turn number 11, slow down right now. Really bunch everyone up, and then the safety car is going to go forward, and then Piastri's going to go probably at turn 13 again. So I mean, it worked the first time. Why not do it the second time? This time though, there's a Max Verstappen. There's a Max Verstappen in a Red Bull on a fresh set of softs in your mirrors. So you got to be careful. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Safety car is in this lap. The track is clear. Oscar Piastri has put his foot to the floor. So has Norris. But here comes Max Verstappen down the start-finish straight. He's tucked into that slipstream. He's gaining on Lando Norris. He's a little bit too far back to make a move on this occasion. But on the next lap, DRS will be getting enabled. And we're about to have a sensational battle between the top three. Here comes Verstappen. He's practically pushing Norris through turn number 3, and Norris is falling further back and back and back. Piastri's doing what he does so well. He breaks the DRS within one lap. That is his speciality. Max Verstappen is approaching quickly, and Norris has got to be careful. Okay, here we go then. Here we go. Oscar, though, look at that gap, 0.973. Here he comes to the first DRS detection point. Of course, no DRS on this lap, but it doesn't matter. He's already broken the DRS. Fantastic job there from Oscar Piastri. Now, Norris has got to do the same, but he can't. He's got a soft-tired Red Bull behind him, and Max is pushing like crazy. It's his home race. He wants to get the race win, maybe even a second place. Can he do it? Norris is not going to have DRS on the next lap. Max has got to hold it together for one more lap. And Isaak Hadjar, he's got to be careful of him as well. Hadjar is no slouch, and he's also within DRS range of Max Verstappen. So it's a three-way, maybe four-way fight for second position. A personal best lap there for Max Verstappen. And here he comes. DRS has been enabled. Gap Piastri to Norris, 1.2 seconds. No DRS for Norris. Max Verstappen, however, is, well, his tyres are warmed up. The hard tyres, maybe not so much at this point. So Verstappen's got to do it as early as possible. This is when he's got his advantage. This is when his tyres are freshest, and he's going to have the best possible grip against a hard tyre runner. Through turns number 8 and 9. Now there's a DRS detection point here. You see this little green dot here? This is where the DRS gets measured. And as they pass through that detection point, Piastri makes a mistake. Norris actually catches up, and Verstappen's lost DRS. The tide has flipped, and Norris is within DRS. Max Verstappen under pressure from Isaak Hadjar, and Piastri on the previous lap did set a fastest lap of the race, but his middle sector, he was 0.3 slower than Lando Norris, and here he goes. Norris has got DRS. It's a 1 versus 1 battle. It may not be Norris versus Verstappen, but it's Piastri versus Norris. Here they go in towards turn number 1. It's a fastest lap of the race for Lando Norris. He's gaining. He's gaining. He looks to the inside. He can't get an overtake on this occasion, but oh my goodness me, he's tucked into that DRS. Max Verstappen is 2 seconds back. The pace that he had has evaporated. I don't know where it's gone, maybe run out of battery, but Hadjar is on his tail, and it's a straight fight, 1 versus 1. Piastri has had to fight for this win so hard. He's had 2 safety car restarts to deal with, and now 13 laps left, folks, 13 laps left. Who's going to come out on top between the two McLarens? Oh, Antonelli's under investigation for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, he's not going to be happy about that. Suboptimal to say the least. Piastri, has he done it? He's just broken DRS. Piastri has broken DRS again. Purple in the first sector, purple in the second sector. Lando Norris is no match for the man from Melbourne, and DRS has been broken. Peace has been restored in Oscar Piastri's eyes, and he is 1.3 seconds clear of Lando Norris. Ooh, great job there from Piastri. And Norris, that dirty air not helping him out whatsoever. His middle sector was not great, and it's the fastest lap of the race there from Lando Norris. He goes a 10th quicker than Norris. Fastest lap of the race for Piastri, he goes a 10th quicker than Norris. Okay. Here we go then. 1.5 seconds is the gap. Piastri, he charged up his battery under the safety car. I mean, everyone did. But Piastri is using it at exactly the correct moments because somehow he's pulling that gap out to Lando Norris. And, well, Norris is not even getting coached over the radio anymore. Maybe he's just told his engineer to stop talking to him. But, yeah, no coaching over the radio. It's now just maximum attack for both drivers. All right, I'm going to drink some water because my throat is again starting to hurt. We've got 12 laps left of this race, and we've got Piastri in the lead, only 1.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. Max Verstappen is 3 seconds back already. Isaak Hadjar is getting dangerously close to DRS to his, Red Bull colleague, shall we say. Why is it a U set on Max's car? Because he didn't have any fresh sets. They had a U set from Quali, so that's the one that he used. Franco Colapinto, nice overtake actually there. He tried to make the overtake work on the Haas of Esteban Ocon, but Ocon managed to stay ahead. So pretty nice going from Ocon. Good defensive work. Saw the lunge, avoided him, and still managed to keep the position. Further down the field, Alex Albon in 6th position. That's really good there from Alex Albon. Stroll gets ahead of Alonso. Fair enough. Stroll's on fresher tyres. Alonso isn't. It's all right to switch them around. But Alex Albon scoring a lot of good points there for the Williams team. Sainz, unfortunately, down in 17th position after having his crash with Liam Lawson. Okay. Are we going to get an Isaak Hadjar podium? Only time will tell. 11 laps remain. The gap up at the front, 1.5 seconds. I don't know what Lawson's saying over the radio. Good job. He's a lab student. Interesting. Some of the radios are a little bit messed up sometimes. And Antonelli has been given a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, folks. So he's got a 10-second penalty and then a 5-second penalty. And Verstappen says the ride is completely effed. So yeah, that's why Verstappen's pace has disappeared. He's 3.5 seconds back. I don't know what it is. The tyre pressures, the ride height, what's changed in the pit stop from hards to softs or mediums to softs, but yeah, he is struggling quite a bit now, and Isaak Hadjar 1.5 seconds back. Alrighty then. What else have we got going on? Behrman, actually great overtake there from Behrman onto Gasly. Of course, Behrman had the slipstream, Gasly not so much, and Behrman gets ahead. Very nice. Also, folks, who is your driver of the day? Mine's got to be, well, I don't know, maybe Piastri, maybe Isaak Hadjar. Piastri hasn't done so much special, but he has dealt with the pressure of Lando Norris chasing him down for, 70 laps of this race, pretty much. Isaak Hadjar, just because he's a rookie, I've got to say, outstanding performance to keep his car ever so consistent. He fended off Charles Leclerc, fended off George Russell, and now he's still again defending against George Russell, getting close to Max Verstappen. So, I've got to say Isaak Hadjar. But Albon as well. Albon, look at how many positions he's gained. 9 positions gained for him. Behrman's gained 12 positions. Could be those drivers as well. Okay. 9 laps remain of this race, and yes, if the championships stay in the way that it is right now, if the positions stay in the way that they are right now, Piastri will have a 16-point lead ahead of Lando Norris. Currently, it's 9 points, but he'll get an extra 7 for finishing ahead of Norris in this race if he does so. Stroll gets ahead of Pierre Gasly, nice there on a fresh set of tyres. He's, 30 lap fresher tyres compared to Gasly, so Stroll up into 9th. And next up is Ollie Behrman on his overtaking list. But Behrman's on a fresh set of medium, so that's going to be a little bit harder. Sainz hates this session. Yeah, Sainz is not happy, really. I think the fact that he got a 10-second penalty was the thing that he was complaining about earlier. So I guess we'll see. What he says in the press conferences afterwards. Albon trying to gain on George Russell here, in fact. Let's see what they can do. And Norris, time is running out. There are 9 laps left of this race. That is around 40 kilometres or so, 40 kilometres, 35 kilometres of racing for Norris left. And he's got to close that gap up, got to force a mistake from Piastri, which is, Lando says, I've got smoke coming from the cockpit. I smell something funny. Wait. Mercedes have had issues. The Mercedes power unit have had issues all season long. You know, Williams have had it. Oh, look, Norris again. I don't know. I'm on fire. It doesn't smell good. Smoke in the cockpit. Okay, we'll check it. What is going on here for Lando Norris? The Mercedes power unit has had issues. The gap has dropped. Oh, Norris going slowly. Norris has had issues. Verstappen up into second place. That means Isaak Hadjar is up onto the podium, ladies and gentlemen. And the issues were going to strike at some point, and they have struck at the worst possible occasion. Oscar Piastri is going to gain 25 points in this. The safety car is out. Lando Norris is going to be dead last. And oh my goodness me, the Mercedes power unit issues every single race for at least one of the cars, and it was the Astons before, then it was the Williams, then it was the Works Mercedes, and now it is McLaren. Lando Norris, oh no. When he came into the summer break, he needed to hit the ground running. He needed to close that 9-point gap to a 2-point gap. But now that 9 points is going to go up to 34. Oh my God, luck plays a very big part in winning championships. Sometimes, maybe in 2 races' time, Piastri's going to have some issues. But in Monza, Monza, the temple of speed, the engines are running at the highest possible engine mode that you'll see all year long. So Norris getting an engine failure in this race could mean that he gets a fresh engine for next race, which will help him out, of course. But he is not happy, and his engineers have got his head in his hands. And oh my goodness me. But Isaak Hadjar, more importantly, is on the podium, ladies and gentlemen. Isaak Hadjar is going to score a podium if things stay like this. But he's got George Russell in his sights. And George Russell has a habit of nabbing away podiums. In fact, if we look at the current Drivers' Championship, Russell has scored I think every single podium apart from one for Mercedes this season. Like, Russell has scored a lot of podiums, and he would be happy to take this one away from Isaak Hadjar. So let's see what will happen there. Okay, Hadjar drive of the day. I mean, yes, most certainly, Hadjar drive of the day. We'll see what happens with the safety car, though. How long does it take them to clear up Lando Norris's car? This is 3 retirements this race. Norris, Leclerc, and Hamilton all retired. 3 of the quicker teams have retired. That has led Isaak Hadjar to get up there and potentially score a podium. I'm not going to jinx it just yet. Lando Norris is looking outright depressed, and rightfully so. Looking very similar to Charles Leclerc, to be honest. Leclerc is also there, just looking. I think he's on the phone right now, watching the race from the side of the track, but he's not happy, and rightfully so, isn't it? Okay, we got couple more updates. Albon up into 5th position. That is fantastic. In fact, let me get up I'll get up the constructor standing soon enough. I'll do it once the race finishes. We've only got 6 laps left. Oh, no. Oh, all right. Tribuna Jolly, thanks for the donation. Russell has damage, and Antonelli is 15-second penalty. Albon is risk to Hadjar. Maybe. Well, it's the thing. If Russell has got a damaged car, he's not going to be letting Albon by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, that's the thing. Because on the safety car restart, I think Albon was still behind Russell. So we'll see what happens there. But Russell, I think, has still got a quick enough car to stay ahead of Alex Albon. Yeah, and if Alex Albon does get ahead of Russell, then I don't think he'll have enough time to get ahead of Hadjar. But who knows? I would love to see a Williams podium as well. One of the two. Hadjar scores a podium, Williams scores a podium. They're both equally amazing. 6 laps left of this race, folks. 6 laps left of this race. Thanks for all the donations as well, folks. Also, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. Hopefully, we can make our way towards 192k subs. We are, 445 subs away? Yeah, 445 subs away. So we've got, 33,000 people watching. So thanks, everyone, for subscribing. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And yeah, it really does mean a lot. Hopefully, we can hit 192 today. 195 is probably a little bit ambitious, to be honest. All right, how to manage tyres. Managing tyres, to be honest, not going to be too much of an issue. We've been doing a lot of driving behind the safety car, so that's going to result in your tyres not wearing out too much. And the other thing I'd like to point out here, folks, Max could actually get an overtake done on Piastri. Piastri's been, blocking Lando Norris for most of these safety car restarts. He doesn't know what Max Verstappen's going to do. He doesn't know if Verstappen's going to do something good or bad, or if he's going to send one to the inside, or what tricks he's got up his sleeve. So Piastri's got to be careful. He could get overtaken by Verstappen, and that would be very, very critical, because the gap from first place to second place is 7 points. 25 points for first, 18 points for second place. So Piastri would lose 7 points in the Drivers' Championship if he lost a position to Verstappen. So he's got to be super careful not to lose the place on the safety car restart. Norris has got out the car. The car's still smoking, but there is a recovery vehicle on track. They've just declared it clear. So we should be good to get going soon, but we will have a restart. We won't be ending the race behind the safety car, folks. We will not be ending the race behind the safety car, just to confirm. All right. Yeah, track has been declared clear in all of the sectors where we had previous issues before, so let's see. They're all weaving around, getting the brake temperatures up, getting the tyre temperatures up, and 5 laps left to go, folks. 5 laps left to go. Any idea when the safety car is going to pit? It's in this lap, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the safety car is coming in this lap. We have got the 3rd safety car restart of this race. Isaak Hadjar is on the podium. Oscar Piastri is in the lead of this race. And the Flying Dutchman, Max Verstappen, at his home Grand Prix, is in 2nd place. He's 7 tenths behind Oscar Piastri as the safety car pulls off into the distance. Will he be able to get this restart perfect? Will he be able to get ahead of Oscar Piastri? He's come over the radio to say a bit of light drizzle, so he's got to be careful of that. Piastri has got the hard tyres. In this current situation, the hard tyres are probably quicker than the softs, but you never know. The soft tyres warm up quicker. Here they go. And, the data's glitching out ever so slightly, but here they go. In towards the start-finish straight. Here comes Oscar Piastri. Here comes Max Verstappen. Verstappen is gaining. He's got the overtake button pressed down, but he's 3 tenths back. The DRS will be getting enabled on the next lap. He has got 1 lap, 4.3 kilometers to hold it together and to stay within 1 second of Oscar Piastri. Piastri, on every single occasion anyone has dipped into his DRS window, he's broken that DRS gap within the lap. Let's see if he can do it against Max Verstappen now. Colapinto up into 13th, and apart from that, the positions stay the same off the restart. Hadjar under pressure from George Russell. Russell is pushing like crazy. He wants this podium. Isaak Hadjar will want it even more, though, and we're about to go and have a fantastic final 4 laps of this Grand Prix. Here we go then. Oscar Piastri coming through the back straight. The gap is now 8 tenths of a second. 8 tenths of a second. If he can hold it together, well, we could have a battle on our hands for the race win. And I think, honestly, from Piastri's perspective, he has to think long-term here. If he battles against Max Verstappen, he could risk getting DNF'd. He could risk losing a bunch of points against Lando Norris. Right now, he is 25 points up on Lando Norris. Sure, he could settle for 2nd place, get extra 18 points. That's a lot better than crashing into Max Verstappen, who's going to win his home Grand Prix and scoring 0 points. So Piastri, may even just concede this position. If you see Verstappen going to the inside, he may be just like, Verstappen, go on through, win your home race, man, and I'll keep 18th points ahead of my teammate. Let's see, 3 laps remain, DRS enabled, but Piastri has broken that DRS gap very, very crucially, 1.02. Verstappen's going to use every bit of overtake mode that he has to try and get it under 1 second. We'll see if he can do so. The DRS detection point is over here. This green dot is that DRS detection point. 1.2 seconds is the gap, and it stays 1.2 as they pass through that. So no DRS for Max Verstappen. Piastri has done it yet again. Broken DRS when he absolutely had to at the crucial moments. Oscar Piastri is there, and he does deliver. And Verstappen looks like he's going to have to settle for 2nd position with 3 laps left of this race. Look, Piastri probably won't let him through, but if Piastri sees Verstappen and they start getting aggressive and argy-bargy, it's much better to take the 18 points than to risk a DNF and score 0, because it's a championship battle overall. Yes, he would lose this race win, but if he wins the championship in the end, I'm sure he won't care. Anyway, it doesn't matter because Piastri is cooking everyone, and yeah, that gap up to 1.7 now. Isaak Hadjar holding it together. Russell, in fact, under pressure from Alex Albon. Albon is in a Mercedes sandwich. He's got to be careful. Any mistake he makes will be penalised by Kimi Antonelli behind him. There's no reason for Antonelli to battle with him because there are he's got 15 seconds worth of penalties to his name, and that's going to drop him right into dead last pretty much. But yeah, he shouldn't battle, but the thing is he probably will, just to ensure that Russell can keep that 4th position and Albon doesn't get it. All right, 2 laps left to go, and yeah, Piastri's definitely not conceding this one. The only one situation I think that he would concede it in if Verstappen was just attacking like crazy, but doesn't really matter when you've got a rocket ship McLaren. 71 laps of 72, and here we go, penultimate lap of the race. Piastri out the final corner through the start-finish straight, and he is on the final lap of this race. Here we go, folks. The final 4.3 kilometre loop of the Zandvoort circuit. Oscar Piastri leads the way from the front, as he did from the start of the race from pole position. What a drive it has been from him so far. Further down the field, we have got both Astons in the points. We've got Behrman up in the points as well. Great job from him. Alex Albon, I think his best finish this season, actually 5th position. So really good job there for Alex Albon, bouncing back on the second half of the season. And Tsunoda manages to scrape it through into 10th position, at least so far, unless Ocon manages to get past him in the next couple of corners. Okay. Here we go then, folks. Final sector remaining. Oscar Piastri makes his way through. He's got Max Verstappen in his mirrors, but he's a long way off in his mirrors. He makes it through turn number 11 and turn number 12. 13 is the only real corner that remains. Oscar Piastri brakes super late, makes it round the corner. He comes out of the final corner. He has dominated from qualifying and every single lap of this race, every single safety car restart. Oscar Piastri has got it absolutely picture perfect. He wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Max Verstappen in 2nd position, and Isaak Hadjar scores his first podium, and he is up on the podium in 3rd position. Simply lovely from Isaak Hadjar. George Russell in 4th, Alex Albon in 5th, Behrman up into 6th after Antonelli's penalty brings him down. Lance Stroll into 7th position, Fernando Alonso in 8th, Tsunoda in 9th, and we've got Esteban Ocon in 10th position. What a race, and Isaak Hadjar, congratulations, you have won Rookie of the Year. No other performance can really do it, unless, Antonelli goes and wins the race. I think Isaak Hadjar has most certainly got my Rookie of the Season, because that was a brilliant, brilliant drive, perfectly managed, and yeah, just fantastic from all angles. All right, let me bring up the championship standings. Right, here we go. Those are the championship standings there, folks. I can bring this over a little bit here. Alrighty. You can see Piastri 309 points, Lando Norris 275. I should probably make this a little bit bigger, actually. Let me zoom in. Give me a sec, folks. There we go. Alrighty then. So, as you can see, we have got Oscar Piastri up in 1st position. 309 points to his name. Lando Norris, 275 points. And then Max Verstappen, 205. Also, folks, thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. If you're going to drop off the stream, be sure to tune in to the Monza Grand Prix next weekend. I'm going to continue on, maybe 10-15 minutes more of commentary. We've got Monza next weekend, so be sure to tune into that one. And I'll just pop a link into the description for that. So, Andrew, thanks for the donation. Very much is appreciated, buddy. Woohoo, Isaac P3. I know, fantastic, really, isn't it? All right, let me just put the Monza stream into the chat, and then we'll get through into the sort of post-race cooldown that so many of you have been asking for. I'm going to hope that it doesn't affect the YouTube algorithm too much, but we shall just wait and see. All right, there we go. There's the Monza stream. Be sure to just hit the like button, the reminder button on the Monza stream. I'll see you there if you're going to tune out. But now let's have a look at let's have a look here. So we have got Piastri, first place, 309 points to his name. Then we've got Norris, so many 4 points back. That's 34 points back now. 34. So a lot of work to do really for him, and he's got to hope really for Piastri to DNF. Congratulations to Isaak Hadjar, up 3 positions in the constructor standings with those 15 points. He brings Racing Bulls also up 1 position, and he brings them only 2 points behind Aston Martin, and 20 points behind Williams. So pretty good going there from Racing Bulls. Kick Sauber unfortunately lose a position to Racing Bulls because Hulkenberg was only in the points in 9th position. So Hulkenberg and Bottas are both out of the points in 14th and 15th. What's the channel to watch it on the VPN? It's SRF and the Swiss VPN server. I'll quickly just get that up there. There we go at the bottom. The GOAT Stroll beating Alonso, yeah. Oscar Piastri, I mean, he doesn't seem all that pleased, to be honest. Austria, always just typical Oscar Piastri. Just a nice smile to celebrate his win, and that's about it. Not too much jumping about or anything like that. And Isaak Hadjar scores his first podium, which I'm sure will be absolutely buzzing about. Yeah. Albon tied with Antonelli. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, Albon's just doing a really good job there. Scored, 64 points for Williams, and Sainz has only scored 16. So Albon has outscored Sainz by 4 times more points, which is kind of mind-blowing. I would have expected them to come in sort of level. Andrew, thanks for the donation again. Really is appreciated, buddy. Amazing commentary as well, F1 Gamer. Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. It was a little boring in sort of the middle section, but I tried to keep it interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed it. How do you watch F1 again? You get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description. You connect to a Swiss VPN server, and then you go onto Google, you search SRF, Formula One or whatever. You don't even need an account or anything. You just click play and you can watch. If you're interested, go ahead and check that out. A load of people use it. I myself use it. So, it goes a long way to helping out the channel as well. And of course, if you're interested in the merch, then I shall put the merch up there. I haven't done a design for Oscar Piastri just yet, but I will be getting that done pretty soon. There's a George Russell T-pose there for the hoodies and for the t-shirts. There's a Prince of Monaco for Charles Leclerc sort of winning the Monaco Grand Prix, which I think is pretty nice, sort of like a newspaper. But yeah, folks, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll be seeing you in Monza if you're going to leave. But I'm going to stay around for maybe 5 or so more minutes if you guys have got any questions, and then I will see you at the next race. Should be absolutely mega. Best F1 streamer, yeah. Well, thanks, folks. Thank you very, very much. And we're only 200 subscribers away from 192k, so I'm sure we could hit that today. All right. Stroll is now the highest Aston driver. Yeah, he scored more points than Alonso. 2 more points to be exact. So, pretty nice job there from Stroll, and really good, really. I don't know what else really to say. Well done, Isaak Hadjar. Genuinely amazing job. The fact that his qualifying lap itself was so good, and then him also being able to hold on to that performance during the race, not letting his tyres wear out too much, just keeping the car going, and then also being able to stay calm. Because a lot of these drivers, you get into your own head. You're like, oh, I'm in a podium position. Oh, I should maybe push a little bit harder. Oh, I should do something different. But no, very cool, calm, collected. And Isaak Hadjar, very consistent, and he's learning at a very quick rate as well. Andrew, again, thank you for the donation. Seriously, Andrew, I really do appreciate all of these donations. I hope you guys do. I don't know where I was going with that, but thank you so much. Max is the team at this point. Yeah, I mean, if we have a look, Red Bull has scored 214 points. Max has scored 205. So, that pretty much is enough said, to be honest. There's not much more else to say. Yeah, genuinely, Oscar, where is Tsunoda on these standings? Tsunoda's genuinely down in 19th position. It's not up there on your screen, folks, because I haven't adjusted properly, but Tsunoda is 19th in the Drivers' Championship with 12 points to his name. That is outright terrible. But so is the Red Bull car. Yeah, it's been a great race, really. What happened? So we'll do a quick recap, shall we? Hamilton spun on a painted white line. We had Leclerc get crashed into by Antonelli, so that was the issue there. We had Norris with an engine failure. We had Sainz and Liam Lawson have contact, and that caused them to get lapped and go right to the back of the pack. The safety car helped them out. They got unlapped, and then they finished in 12th and 13th. Antonelli had 15 seconds of penalties to his name, 1 for the contact with Leclerc, 10 seconds for contact with Leclerc, 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. And apart from that, Piastri is just led from the front. Under no situation did it look like Norris was getting ahead. And whenever the gap closed up, Piastri was right there, extending it out again. And it's the first podium for the team as well since Baku 2021. So it's been a while since the Racing Bulls, AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso team has scored some podiums. So it's good to see that. Okay. So I think that's all from me, really. We've got 9,000 people still watching the stream, which is really, really big. Thank you for everyone sort of listening to this post-race show. And the big sort of reason why I haven't done many more of these post-race shows is because the YouTube algorithm doesn't particularly like it. And the only real way to offset it is if everyone goes to the Monza stream, hits the reminder button and the like button. That sort of offsets the negativity of this, not the negativity, but like basically, because the stream was at 40,000 people watching, 35,000 people watching, it's dropped to like 9,000 now. So the algorithm's like, oh, this is not a very good YouTube streamer. Loads of people just stopped watching him. So the way to sort of get around that is if all of you guys go to the Monza stream, hit the like button, hit the reminder button for them in advance. That goes a long way to just keeping the channel where it's at. And yeah, hopefully we can make our way towards 200k for the face reveal. But I think that's all from me, really. I hope you've enjoyed my commentary. A little bit crazy today. Yeah, unfortunately, Max didn't get really that close to battling with Piastri on a set of soft tyres. But yeah, that's just all down to Piastri being so good. And I think that is. I think that's about it, really. Didn't Russell have damage? Seemed to not affect him too much. Yeah, Russell did have damage. Slight contact with Leclerc resulted in damage for him, but still managed to keep it going. So really solid job from Leclerc. Albon, great result for him. Behrman as well, doing that one-stop strategy, hards to mediums, and then of course using the safety car to pit as well. Very much helped him out. Ocon doing the same thing, but him with slightly worse results. Yeah. Okay, so happy for Hadjar indeed. Hadjar has done a fantastic job. Thank you for the stream and the commentary. Fantastic as always. Thanks, Pug Doggos. Yeah. All right. I think that's about it then, folks. So we've got 8,000 people here listening to the stream. If you could all go towards the Monza stream, hit the like button. It really goes a long way to helping out. So I'm going to end the stream now. It might play an advert, it might not. But once the advert's done, it will show you the Monza stream. And if you can click that, hit the reminder button, the like button, goes a long way to keeping the channel growing in the eyes of the YouTube algorithm. But that is all from me, really. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. It's been a fantastic race. And I shall see you in 1 week's time at Monza, at the Temple of Speed, where we're going to have some incredible racing. So, yeah, I'll see you there. You don't see the Monza stream up. There's a link in the chat. And also, once the stream ends, I'll put it up in about 30 seconds. So I shall see you then. All right, then. Bye-bye. And check out the merch as well. There's a link in the description. All righty. Yeah. Have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you're on the world. I'll see you in 1 week's time for the race in Monza. Bye-bye, folks.